civilizational crisis. I've said this before. We are at a place, and you can see it from a mile away, we are at a place where great civilizations start to go and new civilizational models begin to gain steam, and there's a place where those two cross paths and they simply cannot coexist. We are there right now.
So shout out to Paleocrat.
Oh yeah, follow Paleocrat. He's all over this.
The woman explained how her boyfriend told her that his high fiber diet means that wiping is completely unnecessary. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing stars. They're worse than the people on the corner talking about the rapture's about to happen. It's an apocalyptic death cult. It's so demonic. I'm starting to think there's some kind of a conspiracy going on around here. Yeah, we are the wolf pack, by the way, guys. I forgot to say that. Ow! It's good to see you. It's good to see you. You guys always get me riled up, wild and zany. It's so eminent. Everything is eminent right now. 12 years, 8 years, we're all doomed. But the great animal uprising of 2020, it's happening all around. They're even starting to talk, dude. I've seen movies. They're just at this point pulling diamonds out of their rear end, which would be a fascinating ability, by the way. I heard it's all about the pressure. It's gonna happen, guys. We're gonna push, and we're gonna push hard, because that is what is always done. That is what America does, which is why you can see all that destruction. And what happens, by the way? Cities get burned, windows get smashed, people get pulled out of their cars, individuals have been shot, individuals have been beat bloody on the streets, and then what ends up happening? White supremacy is the big problem in America. What? No! No, no, no! It's over, man. It is over, son. I think they're lying to us. And you know how we know this? Because they buy into everything. They spread fake news like crazy. Is this real, guys? 50-50. There are people out there that have physiques like that. You see them oftentimes in parking garages like valet drivers and stuff. If you want to be an ignoramus and try to do the fisticuffs, hit the road, Jack and Jacqueline and Karen. Oh, you're not based, dude. You're based in Pato land, as in like located. Let's look him up on Google real quick. Oh, he's on 666 Pato Street. We're just gonna have fun. There's no serious stuff going on here. Oh, they're mukbang spiders. Why? Oh, holy crap. No. No, no, no. Do not flaunt that. That is not something to be proud of. There's been a big price tag for the sins that we've committed as a nation. And we've committed some of the most grotesque sins in the history of the world. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this dude. He's kind of a beta cock, Play-Doh rolling, bubble blowing kind of guy. Says, you better take off that effing shirt, cause it offends women. What an ignorant way of looking at the world. You're gonna be tossed to and fro by every whim and fancy of a culture that hates you. This dude thinks it's offensive to women that I don't walk around with my shirt off. It's easy to say how great we are, and I believe that we're truly great. On the other hand, we got Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They have no connection with the past, other than to simply remind the past always how much they hate it, and to dance on the graves of the democracy dead. The rabbits are now dressing up as Nicolas Cage. Plastic surgery, I bet, probably from that stinking cap. And you're like, you don't do plastic surgery. And he says, look at the plastic surgery I did for the rabbit. We need to repent. We need to take a knee for Jesus. Paleocrat's using that argument again. Come on, son. That's good, wholesome American stuff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome, what for? Train on the trees, please walk my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no channel for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the champions, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's another amazing day to be alive, and it's another amazing day here at Paleocrat Diaries. I'm your host, Jeremiah Bannister. We have a whole bunch. I'm not even going to play Tiddlywinks, man. I normally do. I normally play a little bit of Tiddlywinks at the beginning of the show, where I kind of jibber-jab, do the old talky-talk, yacky-yak thing for a little bit, and we're just going to skip right by that. We're just going to skip right by that all the way because I'm just going to blend it in. I'm going to blend it in because we have simply too much to talk about. We have too much to talk about. We've got the rally that happened this weekend. If you weren't there at the rally, big time bummer for you. It was awesome. It was totally awesome. And I got to speak, of course. And I'm going to share the video with you here in just a moment. And the Proud Boys were there. Big old shout out to my boys. So super proud of them. Amazing guys. It was awesome. I got to meet a number of them. It was really, really great. We're going to talk about the newest updates to do with COVID, for example. Okay? With COVID having to do with a certain Dr. Fauci and how Dr. Fauci, remember when Dr. Fauci had the big argument with Rand Paul and Rand Paul was saying we should, open the schools and everything. And Dr. Fauci's like, oh, we disagree on that. That's very dangerous. Come to find out, no, actually it's not. Number one, we knew it back then. But come to find out, of course, Dr. Fauci, after the election, magically changes his position, which, of course, we predicted that he would. We're going to talk about the election news and what's going on with that. And more than that, because you can find tons of stuff about, different lawsuits that are going on, more evidence. We'll talk, of course, about more evidence that's coming out and everything else and the lawsuits. But really, what are you going to do? And who's doing what? Because there's a lot of people right now that are doing an awful lot, right? Tons and tons and tons. But I don't want to end with that, right? I guess we're also going to talk. There was a story. Starbucks needs to take a knee for Jesus. Apparently, they let go of a young Christian lady, because she refused. She refused to abide by their core principles she refused to wear a pride shirt. Okay, all of them were wearing pride shirts and everything. And she said that violated her religious beliefs. And next thing you know, bada boom, bada bing, she goes ahead and she gets this statement saying, well, you're not in compliance with our core values. So screw Starbucks. And that breaks my heart a little bit. Just a little easy. I've kind of given up on them anyway. I go to a lot of local places and stuff. But I do like their nitro cold brew. But the thing is, I have cold brew at home. It's not nitro. I got to figure it out, man. We got to figure it out. And then at the end of the show, I'm going to talk about an article that my buddy wrote that's really good, that talks about, with all the things going on with politics and all the things going on with COVID and everything else, it's easy for us to lose sight of the core and centrality of Christ and of the gospel. And it's a really, really great article. I meant to cite it last week. It's not brand new, but it applies just as much now as it did then. So we are going to have a whole bunch of awesome things for you. But before we move on, real quickly, well, it's a cool little fade, man. Okay, yeah, look at it. So, okay, real quick, no matter where you are, you may be watching on a number of different YouTube channels, a number of different Facebook pages, Twitch, DLive, Periscope. It doesn't matter where you are. In fact, you can kind of see. Let me see here if I can zoom in a little itsy bit. Just an itsy bitsy. Okay, you see this here? It says like, comment, share. For one, yes, if you're watching this and you have not liked it yet, please do. That really, really helps us. It helps us to get stuff going around, as well as commenting and sharing. In fact, that's kind of the magical combination, right? If you watch the video, if you like, if you comment and just say, even, hey, good morning, and then you share, the algorithms love it, and they treat it like this is a really newsworthy thing. This is really great. We need to expand the circle of reach for the program right now. And so that's the best thing you can do. But you can see underneath it, there's a whole bunch of little icons there. Those icons are different places where the show is playing. And this right here is the master comment section. This right here is the wizard behind the curtain stuff, guys. I'm giving you a little sneak peek so you can see what really goes on. And if Ailey's listening, I forgot water. I've got a cup, but man, I forgot the water, man. I forgot the water. But okay, just as an example, just as an example, saying good morning to the folks. Yeah, right here. Bethany says, howdy doody, Jeremiah and Pack. Yes, howdy doody to you. Happy Monday to ya. Good morning. Monday morning. It's a joke for me that will never get old, man. That Pelosi crap. Oh my gosh, man. I feel badly, though. I think maybe she was having a stroke. I don't know. I don't want to make fun of her. C. Victor MC asked for people to pray for him and for his family. And we do that here. We've actually stopped the show, just full stop, boom, right in its tracks, and prayed for somebody in the comment section. One of the Wolf Pack, a real member, right? Someone we really, really love. Randall Holton says the rally was awesome. Randall, I'm really glad that you are tuning in. And I'm really glad you were at the rally. And I'm especially grateful that you thought it was totally awesome, man. So really happy to see you, Randall, in the comments there. James says Jesus is king. He's definitely king. He has all power and all authority. Even if this show didn't recognize it as such, and we do, he would be King of Kings and Lord of Lords no matter what. All righty. So, okay. But that gives you an idea. Okay. It gives you an idea for what's going on. Oh, and Annette Conrad, that's my mom. I think, she likes tuning in for the fun stuff, And so she likes tuning in for the fun stuff. And she's actually going to help me. Okay. We're going to have an amazing thing happen. We're going to have a huge transformation here at the show. So you're going to be blown away. It's going to be a little bit. My mom's going to, she's visiting from Pennsylvania. She's going to come over. And we're going to work for a few days on the set here. Okay. So we're going to have really cool set. It's not going to be quite the man cave that it is right now. I mean, I like it, but, I think a lot of other, maybe a little bit overweight, manly dudes like it. But we got, there's some ladies watching, and the ladies are like, hey, look, it looks a little bit man cave-ish, and you definitely need to spruce it up a little bit. And I agree. I agree. Sheree says she's about to drive to work, but she's going to listen until she punches in. We're really grateful for all of that. So I showed you this really only to let you understand that no matter where you are, if you're checking into the show and you comment, I see it, okay? And I'll try my best. I will try my best to refer to the ones that are specific about the show, things that are going on, comments referring to things we've been discussing. So if you're commenting, I can see it. Oh, yeah, Angela McElroy, good morning, good vibes. I'm getting them. I'm getting the vibes, Angela, from all over the place. I know you're driving around, delivering amazing things all over the country. You're part of what makes America so great. And so really glad for those amazing vibes. Amazing vibes, man. And yes, James, my mom, she has a couple opinions probably on what's going on in Pennsylvania. And my cousin especially does. My cousin's very involved. He was involved with the Trump campaign in Pennsylvania. In fact, I should have him on the show sometime. I should have him on the show. So, all right, guys. Last thing before we move on. You have to make sure. This is Paleocrat Diaries from paleocratdiaries.com. So you need to go to paleocratdiaries.com and you can become a member. You've got a couple different pages, of course, all about us. Scroll on here. You got all the different posts that we do, all the different categories that we have. So not just from this show either, right? We've got clips and stuff and appearances that happen on Meaning of Catholic, Rules for Retrogrades with my boy, with my man, Timothy Gordon. Okay, so we got that. And of course, also Paleo Cheese. That's the show that I co-host. So we got all of those that you can find over there. And we've got our Connect page, so you can go ahead and connect with us. We got the whole gang. You can see there's me. There's Thoda Popinski. He's a crisp with a lisp, our Russian bot troll in residence. In fact, I encourage you to call him. His number is right down there. Really, really accessible guy. And there, of course, is my secretary, my mega hot half Korean wife in the comments section. And that's Ailey. So if you see Angela Bannister, make sure to say hi to her. And lastly, you can become a member. Membership is easy. Every bit helps. So we made it easy. It's $5 and you're a bona fide member of the Paleo Naughty. And of course, if you want to get more involved, if you want to connect with me, right, on a real intimate level, on a personal level, make sure you go to the service page. You can book interviews as well as public speaking events. Has all the recommendations and requirements there. So, all right, everybody. All righty. So, what we're going to do. I want to show you guys, first of all, this gives you a little bit of an idea. It gives you a little bit of an idea for the rally. Okay, so this right here is Lansing, Michigan. Now, were there other rallies? I'm assuming that there were. And I'm assuming that there were rallies all over the place, and in different states. In fact, I know Nick Fuentes and Vincent James, I know that they're going all over the place. I know Timothy Gordon, he went to the big rally in D.C., so I know he went there. There's been a bunch of people who've gone every couple weeks. They have a pretty big one at the Capitol in Lansing, Michigan, and I've spoken at the last 2 bigger rallies that have been there. I'm going to show you the video today of my speech that I did. It's much shorter. The last one was like 15 minutes long. This one is, I think, 7 minutes flat. So it's really good, but here's the crowd here. USA! USA! Okay. What was that? USA! 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 So you can see it was a good time. A whole bunch of people. It was actually a pretty nice day. Oh no. This was thrown in there. I didn't know this was going to be put in there. Well, there's my friend Maya. Yeah, the one in the Trump scarf is right up in the front. That's Maya. She's an amazing person, by the way. She gave us a really, really, really cool share yesterday. I'll share that. But she convinced me. I would never do this ever. But I ended up going up and I ended up dancing the MAGA song. And it's a little boomer-esque. I gotta admit, it might be a little itsy bit cringe. Maybe. It might be just an itsy little bit cringe. But it takes all kinds, right? It takes all kinds. And so, you got it. And she's an amazing person, though. And she came up, she did some arm twisting. And she's like, Jeremiah, come on, She didn't do the little, pouty lip or nothing. No puppy dog eyes. She didn't need to do any of that. But, the thing is, she's a compelling and convincing person. Let's put it that way. She's convincing. And so we went up and we were dancing. I don't know if I'm in... you see my hands at least. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, don't look at me over there. But look at the people having fun. This is the whole point. Look at the fun that everybody was having in a time of great crisis, right? It's tumultuous. There's crazy nonsense going on all over the place. And yet... here we are, singing and dancing, having a blast. It looks like President Trump is there, right? It looks real, dude. It looks real. Yeah, it is. It is a good one. And so, so we went ahead and we were singing and dancing and having a blast. And, oh, yeah, okay, now you can see me, top right. Now you can see me. Oh, boy. Okay. We're going to have a fun time. So here you go. Here's a little 30-second clip from the rally. All right, everybody, you got to clap. You got to follow along. It's a good morning. Come on.
1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody sing President Trump gonna see this. We're not giving up.
Yeah. So there it is, man. And you can see her. And look, man, Maya, she was jamming. Maya was jamming. And look at that little dude. Look at the little dude up there, man. He's all pumped up. He's all psyched, man. Lady in the back. I think her name is Cindy. Is that Cindy? I don't know. Anyway, it was a bunch of good times, good people, tons of fun, having a blast, dancing around. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah. Oh, okay. Miss Han is in the comments. I thought you were in a meeting. Maya. I thought I could get away with this. She got me. No. Oh, she wrote, you mega dance like the best of us, friend. Thanks for being a good sport. Hey, it's what I'm about. It's what I'm doing. Speaking of a good sport, man, this guy's the man right here. That's Chirac. He's my man. I've mentioned before, I said that I've one of the sources that I go to for a lot of the news that I share on the show is a Telegram channel called Rob the Anti-Narrative. That's the guy right there. He's my boy. He spoke at the rally. He was the representative for the Proud Boys. He did an amazing job. I'd love to if he hasn't made a clip out of his speech yet, he should. And if he wants help with that, I'll connect with him. I'll connect with him because it was a fantastic job. I think it just blows away a lot of the assumptions that people have. And it happens all the time. In fact, I had a really great conversation. I won't say the guy's name. I don't want to get him in trouble with his buddies, with his network. But the truth is, I talked to a friend of mine who's a Black Lives Matter organizer. And we talked about, because he saw in my video, he's like, dude, he's like, I guess he never noticed, but he saw that I had my Perry on. And he sat there. I didn't wear my Perry to this event because he was the representative, and we just kind of left it at that. But the thing is that my buddy saw it, and he had some questions for me, and they were serious questions. He's a good person. He's a good friend. We've gone back a long ways, way before Black Lives Matter was even an entity, even an organization, right, or a movement. And so we talked and everything. And at the end, the question was, do you think that this should happen more? That maybe there's a lot of people, even on both sides, that get lost in the fury. And I said, absolutely 100%. I would love to host an event on this channel where we, on the show where we have people from different perspectives. I think it would be a really, really good one. And I'd make sure to have him, man. He's my man. He's my man. And right here's some of the boys. Here are some of the boys right here. So let's see. Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of the guys, man. Proud of all of y'all. Proud of all of y'all. And you know what, though? That's the first rally I went to. I missed the picture with all the different speakers because I was warming up in the Capitol. I was freezing cold. And so I missed the group picture. I did not miss it this time. But then this time I missed the group picture of the boys because I was in the group picture with the speakers. I didn't want to miss the group picture with the speakers, and I didn't know the boys were doing it. I'm like, come on, guys. Come on, man. The heck, dude? Oh, man. What the heck? Okay, yeah. All right. So this is the last thing, and then we're going to do then I'm going to show you the speech, and then we're getting into the funny stuff. And we've got a whole bunch of amazing stories, including, by the way, an update on that really, really strange monolith that was found in Utah. We talked about that. We talked about the Eyes Wide Shut, Great Reset styled cult that probably meets there. Well, guess what, guys? It is gone. It is gone. Oh, wow. Isn't that interesting? All of a sudden, we talk about it. It was only us. I mean, we talk about it. We talk about what was going on. And next thing you know, the monolith, it's gone. They took it out of here, man. So here's Maya again. And I mentioned Maya. You saw her. She wants a scarf, doing the amazing dance, right? she's a professional. I mean, she may actually be on tour doing that dance. I don't know. You'll have to ask her in the comments. It says right here, I have an amazing friend. And thank you, by the way. Jeremiah Bannister is truly an exceptional person. Husband, father, patriot, Christian, and Michigander. And she got a picture of my really buff arm because she shared it. She's like, look at his arm. It's really strong. I said, yeah, look at that. Oh, I wish, man. I wish. Yeah. His show is so raw and real. I hope many of you find your way to it and subscribe. Be warned, you'll fall in love with this guy like I did. One moment you'll be crying because you're laughing so hard. And the next thing you know, you're going to be crying because you're feeling his personal heartbreak or the heartbreak for our country. Paleocrat is a gem. Hashtag Paleocrat Diaries. I am so happy. I am so happy and so grateful for friends like Maya and all of those people, right? All the ones I've mentioned so far. I am so grateful to have each and every one of those people in my life. And it's been a really amazing experience, in fact, as seeing the show the show's getting bigger. We're finding ourselves all over the place. And now we're going to different meetings. And I got a meeting, in fact, this evening that's going to vote on the executive committee for the county that I'm in. And I'm in the running for that. And so we're going to find out. I mean, there's a lot of great opportunities. But before we do that. Oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, okay, circle. Let me see here. I got the rally. All right, okay, so we're going to go ahead and play the rally. I will step out of here for a couple minutes. Enjoy it. I hope you have a really good time. I edited the thing so it has, words on the bottom, kind of cues you for what was being said. And there is one section in it. I got to say this. There's one section in there that is a loop of a video because the best video footage we had, it ended up glitching out at an amazing time where I said, take a knee for Jesus. And the crowd, everybody loved it. Everybody was cheering and stuff. And that 18 seconds following that were all about God. Coincidentally, I mean, of course, we're living in the world of coinky-dinks, but it completely glitched. And the end, you can see the end of the video, it gets kind of blurry because the connection was pretty bad and everything else. And so what I did is I took a chunk of video and used the audio version that I made with my phone, and I put that in there so that you didn't miss out on that 18 seconds, because it's good. In fact, it's kind of really the core of what I was talking about. And so, but it's really good, has words at the bottom, it's a bunch of fun, you can hear the crowd interacting. So I hope you really enjoy this here. And make sure, again, share this with your friends, and keep in touch with everybody there at patriothub.org. So here we go.
Okay, next speaker is a megamaniac fighting on the front lines of America's culture war.
And that's
He's
my boy,
the host
Kevin.
of Paleocrat Diaries on Holy Faith Media Network, covering topics like America First, Christian victory, traditional family values, and the great animal uprising of 2020. And can be seen every weekday from 10 to 1, over 20 channels across YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, and DLive. He also serves as the resident political analyst for Meaning of Catholic, as the co-host of Paleo Cheese podcast, and as a newly elected precinct delegate in Grand Rapids. So please welcome the man, and I want to hear a loud patriot welcome for this man, who is known as the information super spreader, Jeremiah Bannister.
Proud of your boy. I want to hear you howl, Michigan. Ow! Come on now.
Proud of your boy, son. Ah, I love you, God. Yeah. I'm sorry to inform you, but we are neck deep in an all-out war. But I've been sent across the enemy lines, and I come back with a dispatch, with a report on what I've seen. I saw savages, raging lunatics, rioting and looting in the streets. I saw barbarians, complete crazy loon tombs, burning American cities to the ground. I saw mobs of these murderous maniacs. They're beating men, women, and children. Have you seen the videos? Have you seen what they've done? And the kind of fear that they try to strike into the heart of every patriotic man and woman? They're sucker punching senior citizens. I've seen gangs of globalist goons belching these belligerent and, by the way, super unscientific demands that you wear a mask. I don't know if you know this one, but I saw an evil empress in Michigan. Yeah, you guys know her? Let me hear this. Do you know the evil empress?
Yes! Lock her up!
I've seen her in public. Bring it on. Bring it on. Louder! There's very few things I would give my time for. That, definitely. Definitely. You can do that all day long. She has these scientific jihadis with her. They're insisting with the force of law that you sport the Fauci-approved burqa. Cover your face. You're not allowed in the store. You're not allowed in the school unless you cover that face with their burqa. Slimy scoundrels. Fanatics. They're tinkering and tampering with the levers and dials of our democratic process. Maybe you've seen it. Fake news says it doesn't exist. There's videos all over the place. You can literally watch as people are filling in the little dots. And you're like, what's that? Why are you doing that? How did you all of a sudden magically get so many ballots? Isn't that weird? Especially in a world where you can turn on the news and you're constantly told there's no such thing as that. It's weird to see. In fact, it's creepy. We see satanic pedophiles, New World Ordites plotting and scheming for a thing called the Great Reset. Have you heard that? By the way, they hate your guts. They hate you.
Fuck Klaus Schwab. Fuck World Economic Forum.
Yeah. But I have to tell you, as I'm running out of time, I have to tell you that I come back in the spirit of Caleb and Joshua. I come to tell you that they may be giants, they may be in the highest positions of power all over the world, whether it's academia, whether it is Hollywood, Washington, D.C., doesn't matter. And I want to tell you, don't listen to those traitorous neocon uniparty fools in the GOP who are telling us to take a knee for Biden. We're not going to do it. Because, like Joshua to the Israelites and like Caleb to the Israelites, I'm here to tell you, we can do this. In fact, you must, because God gave us this land. And if he's pleased with us, he's going to give us the victory. So, in conclusion, repent. Yes. Take a knee for Jesus Christ. Then rise up, filled with love for God and for country, knowing that the Nephilim are no match for faith-filled patriots. So remember that you are what makes America great, that we're fighting for the land that we love, and for 4 more years of President Donald J. Trump.
You can be louder than that for the super spreader. Come on, the super spreader. Super spreader, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Bannister. I love that guy. I love that guy. I'm proud of him.
I'm proud of you too, buddy. That is my man, Kevin Skinner. Super proud of that guy. What an amazing dude. Yep. In the comments here, James says, F. Klaus Schwab, cry, laugh, clap, clap, clap. Yes, dude. It's true, man. It is true. Yeah. So, but that was the speech. Okay, so you can add that now. I'll go ahead and I'll upload it. I noticed as it was playing that the audio from my phone in that 18 seconds was clearer than the audio from the Facebook stream. And so what I'll do is for the video that can be shared online of my speech, I'll make sure to put the best audio in there and still keep the crowd cheering, because that one, both those picked it up really great. And so we can go ahead and have that going at the same time. It's going to be really, really good. James also says in the comments, the poor boys. Yeah, the poor boys. Remember that? Yeah, Joe Biden. Yeah, are you going to condemn the poor boys? I mean, like, what? Yeah, little tiny Tim over there in the corner. You know, Bob Cratchit's kid being like looking over. I just saw that recently. The Muppet Christmas Carol. Saw it again. One of my favorite Christmas movies. I can imagine Joe Biden pointing over there. You're going to condemn that guy? And I'm like, I don't want to condemn Bob Cratchit. I don't. Poor guy, dude. Poor little tiny Tim, dude. Why would I condemn him? What's going on with that, man? So, okay. Speaking of what's going on with that, we've got some amazing fun stories for you. And we're going to get right down to them. So here we go. Let's see here. Oh, and real quickly, my other friends who were there, Bethany and Adam, they were there as well, of course. And in their Mr. and Mrs. Patriot outfits, and I learned something new about Adam. And Adam's in the comment section often. His wife is a total freaking geek for the show. In fact, she's a bona fide diva at this point. I would dare to say, you know, it's not even a dare. It's like, oh, no. She is a Paleocrat Diaries diva. It's just true. She is. And so when we get the shirts going, she's going to get one. She's going to get one of the shirts. But her husband, you can see them in the video, the Wolfpack song that we'll see here after the funny stories, where they're in the car and they're raising their glasses up and stuff. And she was there, and so that was really, really, really cool to see her and to see her husband. But Adam Heikela, I didn't know bro could sing. I had no idea that he had some pipes, man. That guy, that brother, he can sing. And he's got a voice that's just smooth. I mean, you know, he's one of those guys. I could imagine him on radio. I really could. I can imagine him on TV because he's like, you know, what, 6'2", something like that? He's a tall guy, big boy. And so, I can imagine him on TV. He's got a face for TV. I have a face made for radio. So it's bad, guys. You don't know what I have to put into it, man. So, but he sang the national anthem, and it just absolutely rocked. It was amazing. And so, just, you know, if you see him in the comments or you see Bethany in the comments, just thank them for their patriotism. And yes, Bethany says he's a man of many talents. It is true. I know. You know more than anybody, Bethany, but it's totally true. The world is learning more and more and more about your really amazing husband. So here we go. First funny story. And if you got funny stories, make sure to send them. Funny, serious, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can send them to paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. So, okay, apparently this kid was pranking his stepdad. And they say it's better than any horror movie this year. Okay, so it's 1 minute long. We're gonna go ahead and let's see if we can at least get this thing a little bigger, a little bit. Is that as big as this thing's gonna get? Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put it like this. Okay, here we go. It's on TikTok. Okay, so this kid's TikToking it up. Oh.
Hello?
Hello? Who's there? Real quickly, man. If you're this guy, right, and you're in a place, I've worked janitorial before. I worked as a janitor in a Presbyterian church in Battle Creek. In fact, it was an awesome job, in part because everybody'd be gone, and I'd be able to go into the sanctuary, and I would do sermons and speeches and stuff like that. Not on the clock, not on the clock. But before I'd go, it'd be really dark. I did that at a place called Penfield Assembly as well. I'd go and we'd clean up and stuff. And after we were done, I just kind of enjoy myself and go into the sanctuary and practice speaking. And I really enjoyed it. I always imagined that there were angels in those pews. I always imagined that. And but so I've been in those places though, and it kind of freaks me out, man. Kind of freaks me out when you're walking through a hallway and you got a bunch of office doors and you're the only one in the building and everything. But if you heard some scurrying behind you, would you just turn around and go, hello? No way, man. No way. I wouldn't be like, hello. I'd be like, who is that? No. Who's that? Get out of here. I think I got a gun. I got a gun, man. You better watch it, buddy. You better watch out. So he's checking it out. So he checks it out, turns on the light. And he didn't see the... Okay. I'd be checking every door, man. Look at him go. Oh, he threw his hat.
Hello? Who's here?
Oh, look at him go. Look at him go. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, you gotta imagine, right? Because the mechanism in the mind at that point is the same one that goes off, I don't know, when you walk up the stairs at night and it's really dark and you just have a feeling that somebody is behind you and you're booking up the stairs, at kind of double time. And so you're like, oh no, I'm good, man. I'm all down here and all the lights are on and stuff. And you look all around, nobody's down there. But yet when you turn the lights off for some freaky reason, you turn the lights off, and next thing you know, you're afraid somebody's going to grab your leg. And you're like, run. And you get upstairs, and the kids are up there, and you're breathing all heavy, and they're like, what's going on? You're like, oh, I was just catching up with high-intensity interval training. That's all I was doing. I wasn't scared of, somebody who, I don't know, wasn't there. I wasn't afraid of no ghosts. Oh, my gosh, man. Yeah, in the comments, white people in horror movies are hilarious, especially white women. What? Are we different? Are we different, dude? Really? Is it really that different? Oh, man. How are white people different, man? You got to tell me this. I'm willing. I'm willing to recognize it. You know, let me know in the comments, man. How is it that white dudes and white chicks are different in horror movies than black dudes and black chicks? How is that? Oh, dang, son. Okay, we've got Arnold. All right. He's waging a jihad on fat. He's getting older, man. He had a heart surgery. I think he's had how many? 3 of them or something like that. He's had some heart surgeries. Oh my gosh, man. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I need one of those. Stat. Here we go. Look at this. I need one of those. Oh my gosh, dude, that is hilarious. It looks so real too. I think that's an actual thing that happened. I mean, it does not look in any way edited. And they probably have a live band there playing that music. They're playing that music. There's like a whole band of them over there. I'd have a mariachi band. I'd have a mariachi band in mind, dude. Sitting there getting ready to pump some iron, or having my boys, Athanasius, he's 13 years old. He needs to begin pumping that iron. He does. He's got to get there, man, and get mega buff. The kid's kind of ripped, but he's got, I don't know, he's still got little kid muscles a little bit. And so we got to get him working, and I got to create one of these buggers, right? I got to do it. I have what do I have? Duplos? Do we have Duplos? Put it all together. We got one of those little wooden back scratchers. Just duct tape that, gorilla tape it up, and dude, we're set. We are set. Yeah, we could use an erector set. We could do it. Legos, I don't care. Anything at all. I mean, as long as we got the gorilla tape, we're good. Yeah, man. Oh my gosh, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah. Who even came up with this? Who watched the video, by the way? Who watched the original video and said, okay, I see this, and all I can imagine is that little ball going up and down. And for one, we got to admit a little something. And that is that, how old is Arnold now? He's like 80, right? I mean, the guy's really old. He's farting dust at this point. But the thing is that he's pumping iron with that little ball. Unless that ball is magically somehow, it's like a TARDIS where it's bigger on the inside than the outside, and somehow it actually weighs like 200 pounds or something like that. He's really gone downhill. He's really, really gone downhill. Oh my gosh, dude. He's probably lifting he's lifting more weights than I am. Let's put it that way. He's actually lifting some weights. I am thinking about it and looking at my weight set every day and crying. I'm going to get you guys. I'm going to get the weights. I'm waging the jihad. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, here's the big story, guys. And I almost didn't want to put this in the funny news. I almost didn't want to put it in there, man, because this ain't funny, guys. Officials said that the installation known as the monolith was removed over Friday night. Why? Oh, so they didn't have people on it to find out what the heck's going on. They're like, oh, we just found a monolith in a really cultic-looking arrangement in the middle of nowhere. Right? This 12-foot monolith, and we're just not going to do anything about it. We're not gonna post anybody. It's probably nothing. We've never seen Eyes Wide Shut. We've never seen the Bohemian Grove video. Oh yeah, we've never seen anything like that. That stuff's not real. That's not real. And then lo and behold, oh, it was stolen. I guess it must have been some, hoodlums that came out. Maybe some teenagers. No. No. Not even close, man. Bureau of Land Management. Oh yeah. Bureau of Land Management, the government managing the land. We know that's bad. Confirmed Sunday that the metallic tri-cornered beam found protruding from the earth in southern Utah was gone. Quote, we may not know if an extraterrestrial or earthling installed the monolith structure, but we can confirm that it was taken away by an unknown party or parties. There was no party that came and took it. Well, if it was like, a sex cult party. It's one of those parties, I'm telling you, right out of a Kubrick film. I guess that would be, a party. Did you get the special invitation to the party? We're going to go grab the monolith and bring it to our secret hideout. Unbelievable, guys. Yeah. Oh, and you don't know if it's an extraterrestrial. Dude, they're trolling everybody. Oh, BLM Utah. Now you know. Now you know that it's nothing but hijinks. You know, oh, BLM. Yeah, I get it. Bureau of Land Management. But you know what's really going on. You know it, man. Well, maybe there's a connection, guys. Maybe there's a connection. We've seen the craziness. Oh, and it's, okay, so here's the model. Here's some pictures. Here's some pictures. People going out there, and, you know, you got a camper and an RV and everything. Oh, yeah, okay, so there's a bunch of tires. So they can see, oh, some people drove in, and some people grabbed it. Unbelievable. Yeah, credible reports. Oh, you received credible reports of its removal. I don't know, what made it credible? The fact that it was removed? They're like, oh, yeah, it's credible. Well, how do you know that? Well, it's gone. Oh, okay, I gotcha. What in the heck? Oh, I know what this is. Okay, Jake Paul had a boxing match. I don't know anything about this other than I saw a video of Jake Paul punch this dude. Is he a current NBA player? And was this really over, like, one guy's a Black Lives Matter guy, one guy's a Trump supporter? Is that really what was going on? We got to get a poster of this, no matter what it is. We got to get a poster. It's a pretty cool picture, man. It's a pretty cool picture, actually. But homeboy, man, he got punched, dude. He was out. And the video that I saw was hilarious because Jake Paul, when he punched him, it was like from the video game Sonic the Hedgehog, and all these coins went boing, and all these coins go flying everywhere. It makes that little cha-ching sound. Oh man, that dude, he fell flat. He was done. He was over. He was out for the count, son. Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to fight Jake Paul. I wouldn't want to fight him. Maybe for enough money. Maybe for enough money, man. But I don't know. But by the look of it, I'd like to fight the guy on the ground. I'd like to fight him even more if that's how he came to the ring. He was like that. And I'm like, okay, look, I'll fight that any day at all. Unbelievable. Man has coin removed from his nose after what? After more than 50 years? How would you forget that? How did he forget? This is Clara Reed. This is over at Lab Bible. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, and look at that tool, by the way, over on the right. That sends chills up my spine. I would really not appreciate that. They're like, okay, we're going to take the thing out of your nose. You're like, okay, what are you going to use? What are you going to use? And if they came to me and they had one of those like plastic pinchy tools that you get from Operation the game, I'd say, okay, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Something, you could find on Polly Pocket or something like that. But you come in with something looking like this, that sharp, pointy object, and I'm like, you're putting that up my nose? I don't think so. I don't think so, dude. What are you going to do? Put a microchip in me? What's going on with this man? A man had a coin removed from his nose after pushing it up there, and you misspelled there. You're killing me. You guys are, not you, I'll blame the editors, right? We all make mistakes. But come on, man. Up there, more than 50 years ago, a 59-year-old Russian man was just 6 when he wedged the piece of money up his nostril. A piece of money? What is this? A coin. There's not a piece of money. Not a piece of money, man. I used to use a piggy bank, but each to their own. Yeah. The man says he was too scared to tell his super strict mom and then later forget all about it. Oh, so are you serious? Come on, man. I did that one time. It's a terrible story. I won't reiterate it other than to say I swallowed a quarter and then made sure to find it later. I'll leave it at that. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And I didn't puke it up, man. There's only a couple ways that's going to happen. Only a couple ways that's going to happen. Oh, man. Okay, yeah, so this guy's like, let me see here. What's going on up in that guy's nose? Dang, you got a coin up there. Oh, and that's what it looked like? Oh, dude, it's so corroded. Oh, my gosh, look at that. 50 years, guys. Whoo, that's not looking good, man. That's not looking good. They got it covered. They got it with some gauze and stuff like that. Let's see, last year, medics in India were shocked. Okay, so there's another story in India to find 80 objects. What? Including a knife in a guy's nose and some keys inside the stomach. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, if you found 80 objects in somebody's nose, that is newsworthy. On the other hand, talking about a man who's got stomach pains and chronic sickness, going through an X-ray to find a bunch of things like, I don't know, according to this, coins, nail clippers, even a glass. What? Why? How? Are you serious? Are you even serious? Oh, it shows it. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, no. How would you get the key ring? That's ridiculous. How would you get the key ring? That makes no sense. There's no way that key ring went down somebody's throat. I mean, that's just, dude, wow. Unbelievable, man. You look at all the coins. He's got a nice little necklace over there. He has some earrings. He's like just finding metal stuff around the house. Oh, there's a chunk of metal. I'm just going to eat it. And then he's wondering, oh, I've got stomach pains. Really? I wonder why. Dude, what's wrong with people? He had to know. He's like, I thought I could get away with it and bring all of these things to the afterlife with me. And I guess it didn't work, and now I'm going to be poor. He's obviously got a problem. I mean, or somebody's doing this to him, and in that case, he's really got a problem. Oh, this is, okay, Thanksgiving hangover? What is this? Normal people. Wow. What? It looks like a clothing hamper, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a clothing hamper, guys? Yeah. Oh, conspiracy theorists. Oh, yeah, the ones that are all sitting around talking. Okay, yeah, I see. I see what you guys did here. I see what you did. What's this? British doctor is trying to claim Mars by firing a laser at it. Is this serious? A British GP is trying to claim ownership of Mars by attempting to create an atmosphere on the planet by firing a laser beam on it every night. Wow. Okay. So this guy's putting a lot into that. Dr. Phil Davies, 55, says he's fighting the erosion of space laws by spending most of his evenings pointing his high-powered laser into the sky from his garden. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Number one, we don't really know if that's what he's doing. He may be communicating, right? Might be some Morse code crap. But let's just assume that he's actually doing this. What kind of life does this guy have? What kind of life is this? What kind of life? He's like, and just look at him. Is this actually him? I think it is. I think it's him. And he's like, I think I've got it. I think I've got Mars. I think I can do it. It's going to make it. Okay. All right, buddy. Oh my gosh. And he's pointing that laser up there. He's got a nice look at a telescope, man. He's got a nice little telescope on, you can pull over his eyes and stuff to magnify, give him a better idea for where he's going, make sure that he's got it set up just right. And people are like, hey, man, you want to go out on a date tonight? Assuming he's single. That's maybe a fair assumption. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry to throw you under the bus like that, but you set it up, man. You teed that bugger up and said, kick it away, son. I said, okay, I guess I will. So he might be single, but let's imagine that he's not, right? I mean, so if he's single, he's not going on a lot of dates. He's like, look, I would love to go on a date with you, but the truth is, I just am going to simply have to be shooting lasers up here. I'm trying to save Mars. And they're like, what? What? Trying to save it, man. Trying to figure it out. He's contributing to the cause of the idea that people are going to go to Mars and start living there real soon. Real soon. Yeah. Those first people, you can put people like Biden and Klaus Schwab on there and Bill Gates, Fauci, and all those people. You can go ahead and put them on there. That's perfectly fine. In fact, we would appreciate that a great deal. And basically any of the big rollers in Hollywood. Make sure that they go. Make sure that they go. But if he's married, that's even crazier if you think about it. That's even crazier. His wife's like, hey, sweetheart, can you come in? I'd like to spend some time with you. I put the kids to bed. And he's like, sweetheart, you know that the urgency of what I'm dealing with, it must be done every night. She's like, I know, but it's been like a year. He says, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm in it to win it. She's crying in her room alone. Poor lady, man. Poor lady. Deer steals hunter's gun. What? Flees into the woods. Is that even true? Do you guys believe that? This is UPI.com. Police in the South Bohemian region said that a hunter contacted authorities to recount the story of how he lost his gun while hunting near the village of Hornai Plana, and I'm going to pronounce that Hornai for a good reason. We're a family-friendly show. I don't know. I don't know if this is real, man. But he said that one of the hunting dogs in his group startled the stag in a wooded area, causing the panicked deer to run directly toward him. The deer's antlers ripped the man's sleeve and ended up snagged on his .22 Hornet rifle. Yeah. But there's no... Okay, I don't believe it. I'm skipping right over it. And that's not the deer. There's no way. There's no way that's the deer. This is fake, man, UPI. I have a feeling. I have a gut feeling that that is fake. Oh, my gosh. A couple more stories here. Only a couple more. The unusual breed of chickens lays green eggs and has blue meat. That's freaking gross. Wait, what would you guys do? What would you guys do if green eggs, blue meat? Would you eat it? Would you? Well, I mean, I've seen that, though. I think I've seen that. A Dutch farmer has showed off his unusual chickens that lay green eggs and have blue flesh. Ugh. Okay, now here's the real question. Would you guys eat the chicken if it was blue? Let's say everything else is the exact same. Right? Nothing's different. Same chicken. You got a big old awesome piece of chicken breast. You have a good old chicken wing. You go to the store, you buy some chicken wings. You're like, hey, man, I want some chicken wings. They're like, all right, you want it, with barbecue? No. I just regular. Okay, good. Dry rub or something. Okay, good. So they give you the original. They give you the original. And you get it, and they're blue. Would you eat it? Would you? I don't know, man. Are they going to show the meat or just the eggs? Okay, I don't know if I'd eat that. Dude, if they gave me chicken wings that look like that, I would be like, bro, you're trying to get me sick. What are you trying to do, man? What are you trying to do? You're trying to wreck me, man. You're trying to wreck me. Oh, it's unbelievable. That's really gross. I wonder how blue it looks, though, when it's cooked. That's like a purple. It's like a purple gray. It just looks lethal, man. Oh, dang, son. Okay, speaking of lethal. It was at this moment that Ralphie knew he would drink from the skulls of his enemies. Okay, yeah. Okay, I hear you. Oh, man, all right. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Yeah, Valhalla. Did it say Valhalla's chosen on it? Imagine getting that. Have any of you ever gotten anything like that, a battle axe for Christmas? Have you ever gotten a battle axe? And what's the most hardcore gift, man, you've ever got? What is the most hardcore gift? In the comments, James says green eggs and ham. Dude, it does, isn't it? It kind of looks like green eggs and ham. It's one of those blue eggs and meat. Blue eggs and wings. I'm like, in a weird way, which one's grosser? Like, which one is worse? If you had to pick one, which one is worse? Eating green meat and eggs or blue meat and eggs? This is really important. It's a pressing subject of the day. So let us know in the comments section. Let us know. All right, here. Man shares cleaning hack to rescue grubby baking trays and leave them spotless. The cleaning hack on TikTok. TikTok! Everything is on TikTok, man. It's hard to know when they put on TikTok. It's kind of hard to know. Is this some kind of scheme? Is this some Chinese plot? Is this misinformation? Disinformation? Or is it just simply people throwing away their data? Is that what it is? They're just throwing it away. And they're like, we don't care if China gets all of our data, And then they're going to care about their privacy. They're going to care about their privacy. And by the way, not to get too serious, but it's weird when you're living in the world of like these new concepts of consent, where like every step of the way you're a record on repeat. Is this okay? Are you enjoying this? Is it a nice experience for you like it is for me? And you have to say this, like they're going to be like, well, every 5 seconds. How often do you need to say it? How often do you need to do that? And yet a lot of these same people are TikToking it up. They're TikToking it up. And they're like, they're like, oh, I gave my consent. I just clicked the little check. So everything in your life, you don't care if it's gone. You don't care if it's gone. But a moment like that, you're like, constant, reiteration. Wow, man. Robots. This is Luke Matthews, by the way, over at mirror.co.uk. This TikTok is showing how to transform old baking trays using baking soda. I get it. And white vinegar. Okay. So how do you do that? It rakes up more than 200,000 views. but not everyone is convinced. Oh, yeah, well, that's going to happen. It's going to happen, man, because people are going to be like, this is TikTok, guys. So we're going to go ahead and watch this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tune it down. I'm probably going to get in trouble for other stuff anyway, but I'd rather not have, you know, I'd rather not have like two. Maybe I can tune it down a little bit. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. Well, wow. Wait a second. We got to go back here. Hold on. Hold on. Is this true? And ladies, by the way, I know a lot of ladies. I know a lot of ladies that, you know, they've got different hacks for how to do this, right? My wife, she's got some hacks on how to do this. Have you ever just tried this technique? And that seems like a lot. Is that a lot of baking soda? A lot of soda crystals and baking soda. It seems like it. It seems like it. It's okay. So you can see here, you can see it's looking pretty grody. It's got that really crusty crap all over the place. He's gonna put some of these crystals. That's a lot, by the way, man. That's it seems like a whole bunch, man. Seems like a little wasteful, doesn't it? And here we go. Yeah, okay, Brillo. Yeah, okay, so he's using the Brillo pad. He's wiping it down, 30 seconds, letting it go, gets down to 0. Oh, it's a cut. I bet there's people that are like, oh, yeah, man, I don't believe it because it's a cut. Okay, let's look at this. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So as you can see, here, look at the bottom one. Let's get the thing off there. Okay, so if you look at the bottom, it's totally clean on the right side, and it's totally grody and nasty. Well, it kind of looks like normal, doesn't it? I mean, how many of you guys have stuff like that where it's just, you think it's stained? Well, it's just the way it is now. I've used it a lot. Apparently, it's gross. And you gotta clean it off. You gotta clean it off, man. All right, last one. Last one. It says, alien-like creature coming out of praying mantis. What? There are some things, guys, that I don't know if I want to see. It's like a Spaceballs moment. You know, like the guy in the diner who's sitting there going, oh, I ate the soup or whatever. Next thing you know, that alien comes out of his stomach. Oh, no, not again. Alien-like creature coming out of praying mantis is giving people nightmares. Warning, distressing content. Wow. Okay, so yeah, warning, guys. Warning, guys. All right. A video showing a horsehair worm leaving the body of a praying mantis has gone viral on Reddit as viewers said they hated every single second of the clip. I'm already hating this. Let me see here if I can. Let's see if I can get this thing out of there. I don't want that thing on here anymore. Breaking news. I don't want that. Okay, so I'm already creeped out, to be honest. For one, the creature's looking pretty gross, isn't it? Doesn't it look kind of gross? And making it worse, you've got what appears to be a very rusty saw. Why would you have whoever's making this video is a real sicko. Just a real sicko, man. What's going on with this guy? We're going to find out right now. And then on to the serious stories. Remember, guys, okay, first of all, thank you very much for tuning in. And remember, the first hour of the show, it's a morning show. It's a morning show. People are like, I had a guy, he was talking, he's like, oh, man, I tuned into your show. And you're just kind of jabberjawing, talking about, you know, random stuff. And I'm like, yes, if you, yes, we do. Because that's how we start our day. We're not starting out of the gate, getting into politics, which consumes basically every day, all day long, everywhere we go. You know, I'm not playing into that game. We're going to have a good time. We're going to separate time. And we're going to say the first hour is a morning show. It's a bunch of fun. We have a blast. Then we transition with the Wolfpack song and a quick promo of the reason behind what we do, resolving to do our best, having had fun, and then moving on to serious business. Oh. So, okay, here we go. Okay, so there's no audio for this. What the heck? Yeah, there's no audio. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. I would have thought that there'd be some kind of an audio thing. Oh. Oh! What? Oh! Hold on. Oh, oh no, dude. No. Dude, I would hate that thing. I hate it right now. Oh, where is it? What is it coming out of? It said his stomach. There's no way that's his stomach. Oh. Oh my gosh, dude. No, that is not good. That is really bad. Does it ever come all the way out? Oh, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm really gagging. Hold on. Oh, man, I can't do this. You guys are sick, man. You guys are messed up. Why are you sending me this stuff? What is wrong with you, dude? Yeah, I'm out of there. I am done with that. We are done with that. Oh, my gosh, man. Oh, my gosh. All right. Whoo. To the comments, yes. Brian says, I'd feel I was being pranked with the Dr. Seuss kind of story. Yeah, me too. You're talking about the blue chicken. If somebody's like, hey, man, eat this blue chicken, I'd be like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you're messing with me. Although, you know, if they said, oh, yeah, it's just a promotional joke or whatever, would you eat it if they, like, laughed it off and said, oh, it's a promotional joke? I would think that that's like a joke. Like maybe they're double trick, that somehow the meat went blue and, you know, it went blue and they're like, well, we're going to take a big hit if we get rid of this chicken. Let's just tell people it's a promotional joke. And I'd be like, bro, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Oh, yeah. And Brian and Angela both say, thanks a lot, guys. Throw me under the bus. I was hoping people would not notice that. Keeping me on my toes with facts. Thanks a lot, guys. I guess you care about people being accurate. Because apparently I said 30 seconds when to do the baking soda trick, it was actually 30 minutes. Yeah. Oh, and look at this. I'm not the only person that is being super gross. James Marone says, dang nature, you scary. Dang nature, you scary. It's true, man. Nature ain't playing around. CF, dude, CF. It is good to see you. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's worse than weird, brother. That is worse than weird. Yeah, Ailey is doing the pukey face. True, isn't it? The worms coming out of that praying mantis. Dude, praying mantis, those buggers, they have it rough, man. They have it rough. Yeah, Brian says, I would only eat it for a significant amount of money, and you are part of the team of resident fact checkers. Yes, it's true, you are. It's true. You know, because you got Annabelle there. You got the whole squad, man. You got the whole squad making sure that we are on the ball. So, speaking of being on the ball, we're going to go ahead and going to play a quick promo. In fact, I do this, I'm going to do it again. I said I wasn't sure I was going to. I'm going to do it again, okay? Because we got to get it out there. I don't care on my side. I don't even care if YouTube says, "Oh, you're going to get yourself a copyright claim," because this video has a song in it. I don't know if they got rights to it and what I could do to make it so that I could still get monetized. I don't even care about that. The best way that we can get monetized, the best way that you can support the show, it has nothing to do with this video. Okay? It has to do with a video that I'll show in a little while. But not that one. Not that one. So, all right. But, I tell people all the time, okay? We're going to go ahead. Let me make sure that I don't have that lined up here.
5, 4.
Oh, no. Dude, I turned it off. I turned that off. It must come back on when it goes inactive. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. It's okay. But, every single day I tell people, I say, look, we do this show 5 days a week. Originally it was 2 hours. It's kind of been going, I don't know, 3 hours and 15 minutes, hovering around the ish part of that. Around the ish part. But no matter what, we're talking a lot of time on a microphone, a lot of time in front of a camera. And we do unlisted videos that you can find at Paleocratdiaries.com. Okay, so if you go to Paleocratdiaries.com, you'll be able to see different shows that we've done that can only be found. The link to that can only be found, and the video can only be seen if you go through the link provided at Paleocratdiaries.com. And we put it in the headline, so the header of the show, right? That's going to go ahead and tell you. It'll say unlisted video tonight or whatever. If you click on that, you'll be able to watch it. So if you add it up, and you add up appearances on other shows, you add up all this time. That's a lot of time, and you guys know what that's like. Because I'm talking to the Johnny Q's and the Sally Sue's. the everyday people, everyday American life type folks. And they know what it's like to have to get up and give your best, to get up and go to work, even when you don't want to, even when you got bags like Papa Bear under the eyes. I got like bags upon bags at this point. I do. I got bags upon bags under my eyes. But you know what it's like. And you have your reasons for doing it. You might say, another day, another dollar. You know, you might say stuff like that. You know, another day, another dollar. A job is a job kind of thing. But the truth is, that might be true. But you do that. And you're willing to subject yourself to that. Not in some weird way that that's an end in and of itself, but because you have something bigger in your life that you think of. You have something, maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your children. For me, that's what it is. For me, it's my kids, and it's my kids' education. We send them to a classical Catholic school. Okay, it's a private school. They have mass every single morning, and you're going to see a video here in a minute. And every single penny, every day when I wake up, I know I got to give my all because I know that's what my kids are doing. They're dressed in their super fancy, awesome uniforms, learning to be disciplined, structured in their life, learning to be well-rounded, a good, solid, liberal education, right? With liberal art curriculum, talking about an emphasis on writing and reading and arithmetic. They study art theory. They're doing all of this, and they're working really, really hard at it. Every single day, the standard of excellence is really high. And I have to know when I wake up, I may not want to do it. They may not want to do it. I know they don't. There's some days they're like, I don't want to go to school. I'd like to stay home. It doesn't happen very often. But the truth is, I can imagine them saying that certain days out of the week, they're like, hey, I'd rather be at home playing video games or something. But yet they give it their best every single day. And I know they do because we've got awards. We've got awards that they've earned for what they are and who they are, the virtues that they aspire to. And when they bring those things home, I see them. And I look at them and I say, I don't have anybody giving me these little certificates. It bums me out. It bums me out. I mean, it'd be really great if I did. And say, yeah, I won an award today for this. But I don't. But I sit there and say, I want to be not just doing what they're doing. I want to be a standard for them. I must be. That's what I have to do. And I know you're doing it too. I know that you're doing it, whether it's for your kids, whether it's for your wife, whether it's for your parents. Maybe your parents are staying with you and living in your home, and it's made it so that you have to spend extra money. Maybe you're starting a new business, and you have to work at the same time as you are trying to build your dream. No matter what it is. Maybe it's your marriage. Maybe it's your marriage, and you're trying to show your wife that you're giving everything you've got, or to show your husband that you're giving everything you've got. Maybe it's your church, and you thought, that you've been lukewarm for a long time, and you want to get more involved with your church or with the school that you send your kids to. Or maybe you're homeschooling. Maybe you're at home, and it's been easy to fall into the habit of allowing things to kind of be pushed to the side. And you've rededicated yourself to the concept, to the idea and conviction that you're going to give it everything you've got. That's what this is. That's what this is. This is why I do what I do. It's my contribution, not just to my family, not just to my church and to where my kids go to school, but ultimately my contribution to my neighborhood, to my city, to the state, nation, and world, and to you. I hope that you can be inspired by this. And I hope because I can tell you what, I'm inspired by you. You inspire me. And I hope that I can do that as well to you. And that way we're building off of each other. It's a beautiful arms race. It's an arms race of excellence. Higher and higher and higher. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to play this quick clip here. And then we're going to do the Wolfpack song. We're going to raise that glass high. But I want to show you, because 100% of everything that I make, 100% of everything I make on this show ends up going right to what you're about to see, my kids' education at this school. This is where they go. And you're going to see why I send them there. And I hope that you see this and you begin to look for yourself, to look in your area and find out schools of excellence for your children or your grandchildren. Because, we've left them for so long in a really dark place We knew that it was a propaganda factory. We knew these public schools were going south. We saw as leftism began to infect it like a virus. And now it's a critical mass. And we see and the idea that we can just go in and tinker a little bit here and tinker a little bit there. I'm sorry, but I think it's over. And I think we need to be coming to the conviction that there's a different way and that we need to go back to our roots, that we need to go back, press escape to go back, because there's a better way. And the best way we can do this is together. The best way we can do it, which is why we're going to be posting a lot of videos, in fact, about our kids' schooling, like at paleocratdiaries.com. We're going to post it about the kids' school and what they do, how they learn, things they're studying. And I hope that you send me stuff for you as well, different curriculum, right? So if your children are using a certain kind of curriculum, send it to us. If you've got certain ideas for networking together as a group, kind of like Patriot Hub, right? Patriot Hub, the group that I'm involved with now, the group that put on the rally, okay? The speech that went on, the Stop the Steal rally that I showed earlier with my speech. And if you missed it, I'll share it as an individual video later at my YouTube channel. But you got to see it. So I'm going to show you this video, and then we're going to move on. And we're going to do the Wolfpack song, so make sure you got that glass ready, folks. Make sure you got that glass ready to raise high, because we're going to howl at the sun and let the world know that we're alive. And we're going to rock out some of these really hardcore and very serious, urgent topics. So here we go.
You see me in my uniform, and you think I'm going to school.
You think I'm studying, doing my homework, practicing my Latin. You're not completely wrong. The truth is this: what looks like an academy is in fact where I am learning to dig deep.
To search with an attentive heart what all men seek, but few can name.
Wisdom, knowledge, it's the fountain of life and holiness. A sacred temple, the very house of God and gate of heaven.
What I seek, what I have learned to desire, is the desire of the everlasting hills. I am looking to lose myself in the sacred heart of Jesus.
It may look like I'm going to school, but in truth, I am learning to chase after my Savior, the King and center of all hearts.
And I will not rest
until I take hold of him,
who has already taken hold of me.
Are you doing this? Your co-workers might think that uniform, that you're only there to work. Are you doing it for Jesus today? Your classmates, seeing you do your homework, do they know that you are aspiring to take hold of him who's taken hold of you? Glory to God, man. I love this school. It inspires excellence. It's making leaders, and more importantly, it's making saints. It's making saints. And I'm so grateful for it. And I'm so grateful for you guys. This is why I do what I do. I have to show why I do what I do. And I hope that you feel compelled to do the same in your own life, that you feel compelled to let people know this is why I wake up and go to work. This is why I wake up early in the morning and get the house put together. This is why I'm laboring over the stove. This is why I'm going down and doing the dirty laundry. This is why I'm outside. This is why I'm trying to take care of myself. It's why I'm trying to save and trying to learn new ways to advance in this world, new ways to advance the kingdom in this world, because ultimately, it's not all about us as individuals. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than us. And like Brian says, he's laying aside his own flesh. He's laying it aside. And we got to do it every single day. We have to do it every single day. Oh, hold on a second. I had to put the new Wolfpack song in here. Hold on. Where's the new Wolfpack song? Okay, hold on. I got it. I added it last night. Here we go. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, hold on. Got to take that down. That's a new one. I got a new person in there. And so we're gonna go ahead and let's see, stretch to fit that bugger. Stretch to fit that thing. Oh man. Alrighty. So okay, here's the thing, man. Here is the thing about that, because I tell people, if you've got a video of yourself raising that glass high to the sky, howling at the sun, we do this every single day to let the world know that we are grateful for another day. We're rejoicing. We're glad in it. And we're giving it everything we've got, every moment of every single day. And the reason why is simple, because here at the show, we commit to 3 basic ideas. Never give up, no matter what. Keep on smiling. And memento mori. Remember that you are mortal, that you one day shall die, that your time here is limited, and you must do the very best that you can to make sure that you're leaving this world better than you found it. Here we go, guys. All right. There's my boy already.
Power the Wolfpack.
Super pumped about this day. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. We're gonna redo this, man. We're gonna redo this. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. So I went ahead and I played it. Oh no. Here we go. Wolfpack song. I apologize. I had it cranked up all the way. And it was like blam right in the ears. And it's good. We got to hear it in the beginning anyway. I apologize for that error. I apologize for that mistake. Here we go.
Power the Wolfpack.
Oh. Yeah. Love it. Let's dance along with these guys. Get that glass, no matter what it is. Water, coffee, tea, slurm, water. Doesn't matter. Ow! Here we go. Yeah. Look at that dude dancing. Come on. Yeah. Straight to the dome. There she is, Shirley. Good to see you, Shirley. Come on. Woo, you make my day. Here we go. One more time. Ow! Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. You guys are amazing. And so, by the way, when we first had that song, right? When we first started playing that song, it was just that. That was all. It was just a song, and I'm sitting there, and it's just me on the screen. It's pretty boring. So apparently, you guys liked it. You say, hey, you got to have that wolf song. So then we ended up getting some video clips, man. We got some video clips. The first one to send us video clips was Brian and Cherie, and I mention them often in the comments. And they sent those clips to us. It was totally awesome, man. And they sent those clips of their children dancing around and raising that glass. Annabelle, little Bry Guy. Okay, so we had them. And then my wife, Ailey, she took a video of our little dude, and he was howling along with the video upstairs. He howls every single morning. He knows what's going on. Little Louie, little Lucian, he knows what's going on. So he's pumped about it, and he's howling. Ow! I hear that's like my alarm clock at this point. Because he knows the morning time is when we, ow! And he does his thing. And it was so cute. So I made sure, I said, okay, I'm going to add that to it. And then we got another one. We got another video. My mom was here, and she wanted to see him dancing around. So she got one of Louis dancing and having a blast. So we added portions of that. Then Adam and Bethany, they made a video. They're raising their glasses high, driving around, listening to the song on the phone while they're in the car. And they're raising the glasses high and howling at the sun. Super happy, right? Letting the world know they mean business. And they sent that to us. So we added that. And then last week, the tail end of last week, Shirley, she sent us one saying, I'm part of the wolf pack. And then she howls at the sun. And she got a really nice mug, too. I like that mug. And I like that Christmas tree. I like those lights. Oh, it was definitely really, really great. Remember, of course, if you're in the comment section, we always follow those. And so we try to keep up with what's going on. Like Katie Yee, for example, says Fauci is a cabal globalist. Can't stand him. I'm totally with you there, by the way, Katie. Totally with you, by the way. If you're watching the show and you haven't liked it, okay, yet, if you're watching it and you're enjoying it, but you haven't taken the time to just click that like button, please do. Make sure to click the subscribe, and if you could, okay, if you could, share it with your friends. That's the only way we're gonna get it out there, man. Because I'm not playing the games with all these, all the pay-to-play schemes with Facebook. Because Facebook is scheming. Facebook is scheming super bad. So is YouTube, man. So is YouTube. Okay? And you're welcome, Katie. You're welcome. Yeah, I get in these comments pretty regularly. And even when it's off, like right now, watch this. So, see, I just switched over here to Breitbart. We're going to talk about the lawsuit. A Christian claims that New Jersey Starbucks fired her for refusing to wear a Pride t-shirt. What you may not know is that below that screen, I have another window open. And that has the comments. So I can see it in real time, even while I'm on other things. Or if I want to show everybody, I just click over on this tab, boom, and there you go. So there you go. That's how we roll. So I'm always, look, you can comment all day. You can comment all day. Well, I can't assure that we'll get to every single one of the comments. But we're going to get to an awful bunch of them because we really enjoy it. And again, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you do. All right. A former Starbucks barista claims she was fired from her job after she refused to wear an LGBTQ Pride t-shirt because of her Christian faith. This is by Dr. Susan Berry over at Breitbart.com. According to a report at NBC News, Betsy Fress of Newark, New Jersey, a former employee of the Glen Ridge Starbucks store, claims she was fired in 2019 for refusing to wear an official Starbucks Pride t-shirt. Have any of you guys ever been in a situation like that? Where your business is like, look, we're gonna support something that you really don't support? And if so, what did you do? I had it's not the exact same thing, but I had a friend who, when I was the youth pastor, I was an assistant youth pastor in New Jersey, in fact, right outside Trenton, and did a lot of the sermons, stuff like that. And one of the sermons was talking about standing up for your faith in a world that hates you. It's been a message for a long time. And the idea that, she took home with her was that she wanted to make sure that she was standing up for traditional faith-based values and ideas and principles, especially when it seemed as if everything around her was trying to promote the exact opposite. So when she's seeing the world calling evil good and good evil, she wanted to take a stand. Well, they had a Pride during Pride Month, I believe. I don't think it was just a week. It may have been a week, but I think it was during Pride Month. The school that she went to was basically making it so that every single class, every single one, you could be in math, you could be in art, you could be in geography or history, social studies, doesn't matter. I mean, cooking class, home ec or something. It didn't matter. They were going to force LGBTQ propaganda down their throats and make every single topic somehow come back to that agenda. Now, that's obviously an agenda. It's obvious that that's an agenda. And you go, okay, it's not in the school book, it's not in the textbook. And you're bringing it in, and it's coordinated with some kind of, goofy calendar cycle. And you go, okay, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that we're going to do this. But if people, they were had people come in playing music and doing the whole putting on a production and a play that was to make you feel guilt tripped and everything for having beliefs that were contradictory to what they were showing. It's an ancient technique of propaganda. I mean, that's the way it works. And it has the force of authority on its side because it's a public school. So you have the authority of the state. They're doing a really bad job, by the way, of representing the parents. They do. It's really bad. They never ask about it. They just say, oh, we don't even need to worry about it. And they kind of treat these topics like the babysitter who was babysitting for a vegan family who fed the kids chicken nuggets. We can laugh about that and stuff, but the parent, I mean, look, you agree to represent the parent in that time, that you are the one, and you're limited. You probably, even if the parents believe in spanking, they're probably not saying, yep, go ahead, spank my kids. So you're limited on what you're able to do because the source of your authority, whether you're a teacher or whatever, the source of your authority or a babysitter comes from the parent. That's where the source of authority comes, And so she went to school, and the girl from the youth group went to school, And she wore a shirt that said, I think just man plus woman equals marriage. And that's what it said. She was told by the school she had to take it off. She had to call her mom. They said, you get a phone call. Of course they do. You know, you're like in jail. You get a phone call because you got to come and you got to change out of the shirt. So what did she do? She called me. I showed up. Suffice it to say, she didn't have to take it off. She had an advocate. She had an advocate and somebody that stood up for her. Well, this person here did not. In a federal lawsuit filed last week in U.S. District Court for the District of New Jersey, the woman alleges that last year she saw a box of Pride t-shirts during a staff meeting with the store manager. According to the report, she asked her manager if she would be required to wear a Pride t-shirt, and she was told that she would not be required. Nevertheless, weeks later, an individual from Starbucks Ethics and Compliance Helpline, doesn't that sound cute, by the way? It's our Ethics and Compliance Helpline. Are you complying properly? Are you complying with our agenda? She didn't wish to wear it because it violated her religious beliefs. But the problem was they contacted her about the request, and she was told that by the individual that she did not wish to wear it because it violated her religious beliefs regarding marriage. So she was contacted. She gets on the phone. They're like, why aren't you wearing the shirt? Why aren't you wearing that Pride shirt? Aren't you proud? I'm not gay, for one. And no, I have religious beliefs on certain issues that would not make me very proud of that. And even less proud to be wearing that. Misrepresenting my core beliefs and values. Seems basic, right? Seems basic. She said she received a notice that she'd been terminated from Starbucks because, quote, her comportment was not in compliance with Starbucks' core values. The news report states the termination notice claimed that she told her fellow Starbucks employees that they need Jesus when they handed her a Pride shirt. You know what? If you're gonna hand somebody a shirt, a Pride shirt, without even where's the consent, by the way? Where's the consent? I don't know. You hand them and you go, oh, here you go. Wear that. That's a message you're putting on me. If you're able to put that message on me, why would you not be able to put that message back and say, look, I don't believe in this. You need Jesus. You're telling me I need to wear a Pride shirt. I'm telling you, you need Jesus. Tit for tat, man. Even Stevens. But no, not the case. Not the case. News report states the termination notice, right? So yeah, she said they need Jesus. Look, they do. She's right about that. Maybe she listens to the show. If she doesn't, I think she should. In the lawsuit, she reportedly argues that she believes God created man and woman. Marriage is defined in the Bible as between one man and one woman only, and that any sexual activity which takes place outside of this context is contrary to her understanding of biblical teaching. More than that, she says that she has no enmity toward members of the LGBTQ community, and that she says all people need Jesus. Yes, all people. Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Red, yellow, black, and white. Right? Doesn't matter. Everybody needs it. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so keep her in prayer, by the way. No, yeah. So, okay, on the COVID matter. So, this guy here, not the dude, this is the, restaurant owner, was he own a restaurant in Canada? Defied the order, said, nope, I'm going down, you're going to have to arrest me, man. And they did. They came in, they arrested him. But I wanted to show you, man, I saw the guy, our buddy, my man. He's somebody who's familiar with our show. We're familiar with his show. In fact, our show has streamed before over his YouTube and Facebook. And so I wanted to just show this. Right there. Right there. You see this guy running up? Running up to give a hug, man, right here. Check it out. He hugs him, says, nope, you ain't doing it. You ain't doing it. He gets shoved. He's taken away. He tries to get away. But he's basically coming up saying, I'm standing with you, bro. I'm standing with you. And more people are doing this. We'll go ahead and just put this over here. I can't get it much bigger. It's bumming me out. More and more people are doing this. They're saying, look, enough is enough with the COVID crap. Enough is enough. They've had it. Look, you know, the global elites think that we can't read. They think that we can't watch videos, or that we can't refer to scholars, or that we are only caring about things like, you know, Jerry Springer style stuff, Maury, that all we care about is finding out, are you the father? And it's just not true. It's just not true. We stand up to these things and we go, look, and you know, we're able to go and follow the data just like anybody else, as long as it's publicly available. And we're going to find out sometimes they don't want that. They don't want it publicly available. They want to hide it. Johns Hopkins hides it. Twitter and Facebook hide it. And not only do they hide it, they try to present another assortment of those facts as if that is in fact true, which makes it malicious, by the way, and extremely dangerous. We saw what happens when prohibiting a story like the Hunter Biden laptop story. We see what happens is that a lot of people, when they did a poll after the election to say, how would this affect you if you knew these things from this laptop? Things to do with Joe Biden, things to do with his son, things to do with other people in that network. If you knew these things, how would it affect you? Significantly. Significantly. And they know that, which is why they have the regime of censorship that they have. Because it freaks them out. It freaks them out, the idea that people are able to, they're free to think, that they're free to speak, that they're free to promote different views. And they're like, no. That's super scary. And they say it's super scary for democracy. What? Number one, let's get this straight. We're a republic, and there's actually a significant difference. I know people say, oh, you're splitting the hairs of a bald man. No, I'm not. You can see with the ascendance of democracy over the framework of a republic, the strict framework of a republic, which has democratic elements to it, by the way. And that's why it's kind of like saying that it's a stupid debate to say that there's a difference between a bass and a guitar, because a bass is also a guitar. Hey, man, you want to play guitar? Yeah, I'm sitting here bringing in the bass. And the guy goes, no, I was talking to guitar. It is a guitar, man. Same difference. What a stupid thing. What a stupid thing. But they say that it's dangerous. It's dangerous that Parler doesn't have fact checkers. And by fact checkers, it means the highly partisan people who are going to come at you pointing their finger and saying, naughty, naughty, naughty. You better not believe that. You better not share that. We're not going to allow you to share that. That spreads misinformation. All the while you can see the selective nature of this. You can see the selective nature. You can see the grotesque hypocrisy of it. I've said it on the show before. It's really, really simple. If Twitter, remember Jack Dorsey's talking to Ted Cruz, and he tells Ted Cruz that they put all of the little fact check things at the bottom of all of Trump's tweet to broaden the conversation, right? To incorporate other dynamics of the dialogue. And you go, okay, then why aren't you doing the exact same thing from the opposite perspective to people like Joe Biden, who says that there is no contest to the election and that there is no election fraud? Why aren't you putting that? Because we talk about article after article of this, video after video, analyst after analyst, report after report, scientific through and through. We show it. And these people, Biden and company, all the people on the left, they can share all day long. It's not contested. All the while, it's being contested in court. And they don't even have something that says, by definition, this is contested. Instead, you see that they will insert and remove certain details to make it so that they're not lying. Like, for example, when they were talking about Biden being president-elect, and they had a picture of him on Wikipedia, which is a leftist rag. It's a leftist thing. So you go, okay, look at this. You know, you got them calling him president-elect and it's on the page about president-elect. But the problem is that there is a long-standing definition, various qualifications necessary, criterion to meet in order to be given the title of president-elect. And people started to notice that Biden did not entirely qualify. In fact, that some of those things that were in that long-standing definition made it so that it was inappropriate, in fact, to refer to him as such. So what did they do? Did they remove Biden? Did they put that in some kind of a thing that said this fact of president-elect is disputed and put Wikipedia on there? No. They didn't do that. Did they take the picture of Biden off of the page? Nope, didn't do that. What did they do? They removed the problematic portions of the long-standing definition. Because then it fit. That is a microcosm, macrocosm of how they treat facts and how they treat truth. So here's a person. Here's another person at a gym, and the gym opened up, got a citation. They're recording it. People standing in the background. People standing in the background supporting it. Letting the world know, look, we're not going to close. We're sick and tired of this crap. We're not going to follow this anymore. And why? Because of stuff like this. Johns Hopkins study. I hate when it does that. Apologize. Johns Hopkins study mysteriously disappears. Kind of like the Wikipedia thing, guys. After it revealed, in spite of COVID, no more deaths in 2020 than in prior years. Johns Hopkins, this is over at the Gateway Pundit. Who wrote that, by the way? Joe Hoft. I need those dudes on the show. I need them on the show. Same with Cassandra Fairbanks. Johns Hopkins University keeps a tracker of COVID cases around the world and the U.S. This site is used to scare people into staying in their homes and shut off from the real world. So when a study from Johns Hopkins comes out showing no increase in deaths in 2020 related to prior years, the study was, taken down. It was taken down. Right here, Gateway Pundit reported back in August that according to the CDC, only 6% of all deaths labeled as COVID deaths are solely related to the virus. The remaining deaths, on average, according to the CDC, they average at least 2 to 3 comorbidities present. It's unbelievable. So they talked about it over the weekend. A study was published by Johns Hopkins, and it claimed that COVID-19 has relatively no effect on death in the U.S. Isn't that just weird, guys? It's kind of like how the flu has vanished. Isn't that weird? We're not going to report on the flu. For some really magical, weird reason, people aren't getting the flu anymore. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. And if you look at the map, laying out the cases, right? The people who've gone to the hospital, the people who've died, and you look at all of these things, all these charts with the spikes and stuff, and you match them up with years before during the exact same month. So you line them up month per month, and you line them up so they overlay each other, right? Kind of like you use Photoshop. You got different layers and stuff. You do an overlay, and you see the way that these curves go, and guess what? Same crap. Same thing. Nothing outrageous. Nothing outrageous. We showed a video of that. My buddy Adam made a video. It's really great talking about it. And you can see, again, the way that people like the evil empress in Michigan here, our governess, Gretchen Whitmer, right? The way that she peddles this information and shows she has 2 data points that she's really focusing on a plaque that she's got, right? This kind of poster. And one of those data points is, when did the Supreme Court in Michigan say that her lockdown was unconstitutional? And then it shows this rise. Now, the rise started before that ruling, and it goes up following a similar trajectory. It's not like it all of a sudden went and then had the Joe Biden middle of the night counting a bunch of illegal ballots spike, right? It didn't have that kind of a spike. It wasn't like a straight up thing, which, by the way, is evidence of something completely unnatural. It just is. It's something, it's so ridiculously unnatural. If you saw that in nature, if you saw a perfectly sculpted brick-shaped thing in nature, you would say a human's been here. A human has been here. So when you see that, but this chart had none of that. It followed the same trajectory. And those were the 2 data points. But if you take that and you say, okay, it doesn't have on the bottom what month it is. So one of the axes is missing. You say, okay, well, let's go ahead and find out what month is this that they're talking about. And let's line it up to see how does the flu, when that season, how does it look on a chart compared to this? And I don't know, dun, 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 magically, it kind of looks the exact same. According to the study, in contrast to most people's assumptions, the number of deaths by COVID-19 is not alarming. In fact, it has relatively no effect on the deaths in the United States. They said, surprisingly, the deaths of older people stayed the same before and after COVID-19. Think about it. But then what ends up happening? They end up taking it off. They end up removing it. And they had to. They had to remove it. Okay? Why would they have to remove it? They had to remove it because it goes contrary to the narrative. And because this is a tool, it is a mechanism that is being used by people who see any kind of crisis in that way. That's how they treat these crises. They say, oh, here's a crisis. We're going to take full advantage of that. And we're going to use it in order to advance what we want to do. They did that with 9/11. It's on the record, man. They do that with a lot of this. In fact, there's a video, maybe I'll show it tomorrow. There's a video I have on Telegram of a guy talking about how they use crises like this. And say, yeah, and that you have to be good at using them to initiate. Crisis initiation. That was a phrase that they used. And this is like, I don't know if it's Brookings or where it was. There's one of these major think tanks. COVID-19, Americans are in a delusional psychosis and policing each other, psychiatrist warns. This is over at LifeSite News. It's by Leanne Lawrence. Quote, we don't need a police force. We don't need a secret Stasi or to go after the neighbor that isn't wearing a mask on a park bench. We have families who are willing to do that. That's Dr. Mark McDonald, said last month during a summit on the virus. You know, if it's so sad because there are people, I know certain states are having it, to where schools, when kids come back from Thanksgiving break, when they come back, they're asking them questions about how many people were in their home. Dangerous stuff. Dangerous stuff, guys. It says, we have office workers who will come by and mace you if you're not wearing a mask. And no one's going to come to your rescue. And by the way, if you think, oh, nobody's doing that. Oh, yes, there is a video of it. You can go and watch as a person goes up and maces somebody who's not wearing a mask. And he says that no one's going to come to your rescue. In fact, they're probably going to applaud it. The driving force, he says, let's see here. The driving force of the coronavirus pandemic and the hysteria around it is fear. This fear has grown and become so entrenched that it's reached a state of what I would call delusional psychosis. A delusion is a fixed false belief that is contrary to reality. It's amazing. It's amazing. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it all over the place. You can see the way that people are behaving. And if you talk to them and you ask them, what's the death rate? What's the likelihood if you don't have certain you don't have certain underlying conditions? What's the statistical probability that you're even going to be hospitalized? How many people have it? How many people have had it? Most of them don't even know. They use wildly outrageous numbers. Wildly outrageous numbers. And we talk about that stuff here. And by the way, we're putting ourselves on the line because people like Thomas Woods Jr., who I think his COVID cult video, I think is the most watched video he'd ever had, most popular video that he'd ever made in his life. And the thing is, in knowing him, right, being familiar with his work, saying it was probably put together in such a way that facts were central to what he was saying. We can disagree and have disagreements. I do. We have disagreements sometimes. In fact, we debated years ago in private. It was back when YouTube still had their messages and stuff. And we had disagreements over distributism and things like that. Libertarianism, Austrian libertarianism. Austro-libs. But he was good on it. And tons of people were following it. Tons of people loved it. Gets removed, censored. Gets removed for disinformation. Fear has become a new virtue. Never before in the history of this country have we been told that fear is good. Settle into those fears. Allow them to control and constrain your life, said McDonald. And he's one of the guys who spoke at the American Frontline Doctors White Coat Summit in July and again in October. He says, moreover, Americans who are either afraid or who have been fed lies and misinformation for months now have grown to not only feel afraid, but also believe that what they're being told is true, which is primarily that all of us are at equal risk of catching a virus and dying from it. It's demonstrably untrue. He's right. It's demonstrably untrue. You know, how many people, when they talk about it, and they talk about new cases, and they play so loose with words. And that's what drives me nuts, man. I know real ardent defenders of the fact checker concept, right? Like that social media is using this. I know them. But if you talk to me and say, so are they fact checking the idea that it may not in fact be a new case? You know, that it may not be new. We can add, in one way it's new, in another way it's not. It's new in the sense that, well, that's somebody who had it a long time ago, and we can see the residue of that, if we even want to believe that, with the number of cycles that our testing goes through. It's wildly inaccurate. I mean, wildly. It's a serious problem. People around the world, different medical leaders around the world think we're crazy. They're like, oh, what are you doing that for? Why? I mean, you're going to find everything you want. You know, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, okay. You know, but the thing is that they treat it like it's brand new, as if all of a sudden, just recently, somebody came down with it. Just recently, somebody came down. And they don't put it in and say, well, we don't know when this happened, so we're just going to dump it into a chart that gets bigger and bigger, and then we can show those statistical, the mapping of this, to show those big mounds and the curves, and be like, we need to get down the curve, and it plays into a big story, and it gets lost. And you go, dude, it's fake, though. It's not even real. How much of that is simply not real? They say that, he says that the pandemic hysteria has reached the stage of, quote, going beyond fear, going beyond the crazy itself, to what I would call group control. As a result, Americans are policing themselves to such an extent that governments have dialed down enforcements of ongoing lockdowns and restrictions by multiple notches. Do you guys agree with that? Do you agree? Do you notice that they're able to do that because, and we've said this before, when you go through months of doing certain behaviors, let's say you're really committed, right? You're really committed to the idea of losing weight. You're really committed to the idea of learning to read faster or cleaning up the house or whatever. And you're disciplined at it. You say, I want to begin waking up earlier in the morning and going to bed earlier. That it takes months. Quit smoking, stuff like that. It takes months before you start to begin to really instill a new habit. And that those months of doing that begin to create within you that pattern of repetition of those key behaviors that are different from before, that builds within you a habit that is new, right? You've at least laid the groundwork for it. It's there now. Now it can flourish. And the thing is, we were in lockdown for a long time. We were inundated for months with these messages over and over and over and over again as we sat there in our homes, afraid of what was outside the window. And so now, people don't even know anymore. What's the rule right now? What is the regulation? Am I going to get in trouble for not doing this or doing that? Everybody's confused, so they're just kind of sticking with what the last thing they remember was. And you know what they're not going to forget? They're not going to forget the Clockwork Orange propaganda crap that was shoved into their eyeballs. They're not going to forget it. And these new habits, man, it's wicked bad. It's wicked bad. Look at, it'll be amazing. In fact, I wonder if they've already got it. The data that's already out now, I bet, about the increase in screen time use, right? So screen time, sitting in front of a TV, sitting in front of a phone, sitting in front of your laptop and computer. I bet it's just dramatic. I bet, groups like Netflix, Amazon Prime, to do with the shows, probably through the roof. YouTube, probably through the roof. Twitter and Facebook, through the roof. Mom and pop stores, shutting down. Churches, closing down. Schools, boarded up. But look, the globalist bigwigs, those guys, they're good. They're good. And we all just kind of follow along because most people are trying to be respectful, which really goes to undercut so much of the message about privilege and prejudice. Most people really do care about their neighbors. Most people don't want to hurt anybody. Most people want clean air and clean water. Find the person who wants it poisoned. Money Down says you find the people who are okay with it being poisoned, you're talking about major time rich corporate goons. Not regular folks, man. Conservative-friendly sports writer Jason Whitlock, this is moving on a little bit. First woman to play in Power 5 college football game is a Make-A-Wish publicity stunt. Holy crap, man. Okay, this is by Evan James over at Big League Politics. Did you guys even see that? Did you know this happened? Did you know? I did not know. I didn't know this went on. Yes, see. Jason Whitlock, a former ESPN and Fox News writer and current Outkick columnist, did not hold back his criticism of the Sarah Fuller publicity stunt and the subsequent reaction that called her a hero and a trailblazer. Apparently, Sarah Fuller is a goalie for Vanderbilt University's women's soccer team. But Vanderbilt's football team, already having a dreadful enough season as it is, at one point did not have a kicker going into Saturday's contest against Missouri. Because of, I don't know, COVID. Yeah. Oh. So they turned to Fuller and added her to the roster, thus making her the first woman to ever play in a Power 5 college football game. Power 5, this is what I learned, refers to the sports 5 major conference. Okay, so I wasn't familiar with the term, but I know the conferences. ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, and the SEC. Vanderbilt is an SEC team. So we're talking big leagues, man. Yeah, her only appearance in the game, which Vanderbilt lost 41-0. Dang, son. Okay, so they got crushed. They got smoked, man. 41-0. Oh. Featured her squib kicking the ball to Missouri's 37-yard line at the beginning of the second half and dashing to the sideline. That's it. That's bad. It only went to the Missouri's 37. Ugh. Not good, man. Not good. What do you guys think of that, by the way? I guess I kind of get it. Like, it would be one thing if it's like, look, all the kickers we have are gone. They've all got COVID, or, some kind of, they're in quarantine because they were around somebody who had COVID, and maybe they might come down with COVID. We don't know, though. And so they're like, well, what are you going to do? And he said, well, let's go find the women's soccer team. Do they have a men's soccer team? I mean, it was obviously a little bit of a stunt. He said this, quote, Sarah Fuller briefly made football socially acceptable for America's most ardent virtue signalers. This was her primary accomplishment, pleasing Make-A-Wish America. And dude, I love Make-A-Wish, but dude, this is really a Make-A-Wish stunt. And I don't want to say a stunt. I don't even want to use that phrase with them. I love Make-A-Wish. My daughter, Make-A-Wish is a huge deal. In fact, I want to start promoting more of their stuff on social media and really letting people know. I got a friend, in fact, I'll share something. I've got a friend who, her daughter has cancer and it came back real wicked. And they thought they were fine. Everything was looking on the up and up, and now it's just really, really, really bad. And they're trying to bring people together, kind of a last hurrah. I know what it's like, the fourth quarter. I know what it's like. We lost our daughter. And so, but this right here is one of those kind of things. He said, I don't believe she played football. She scored a point in the culture war. Now, she is an athlete, and this needs to be said, okay? This needs to be said. In fact, she's an elite athlete. She plays goalie for a Division I soccer team, which just won the conference championship last week. And it's heading to the NCAA tournament in the spring. Okay? That's a big deal. And that's why he says he doesn't blame her. He said she's an accomplished, high-level Division I athlete. She's a soccer goalie for the Vanderbilt women's soccer team. She's been baited into believing that competing against men is her North Star. I didn't see any quotes from her. Did she come on? I'm assuming she did. The end of this is, let's see here. She's an elite soccer player, but she's a terrible football player. Arguably the worst to ever take the field in the SEC. Probably, man. I mean, you know, when I saw a picture of her, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way, man. The announcers during the game said that Vanderbilt head coach Derek Mason wasn't comfortable using her to kick field goals unless they were inside the 15-yard line. Oh. There were pictures of her warming up in a pregame kicking 14-yard goals. Her athleticism does not need to be validated by competing against men in any capacity, let alone in the sport that's not her specialty. Dude, it's totally true. And so you can see the way that people use this, though. You can see it. Okay. Yeah, I got to talk about this because I know I said we were moving on from COVID, but the fact is, I got to talk about this. If for no other reason, then it's the thumbnail to the show. I got to talk about it, guys. I got to talk about it. After this, we're gonna do a quick promo break, and then we're gonna go straight into the next segment of the show. But right here, now that election is over, this is Jim Hoff, is Joe's brother. Now that election is over, quack Dr. Fauci says it's okay to open schools after all. Isn't that cute, guys? Nobody could have figured that. Nobody would have ever known. Would you guys have known that? Would you have guessed it? Who'd have thunk it? What a coinky-dink. Add him to the coinky-dinks. Like the lollipop kids. They're the coinky-dink kids. Just add them because they're always saying, oh, what a coincidence, man. It's just like you guys said. Yeah, like we've been saying for a long time. That's what I'm saying, man. These people lie. They lie and they lie and they lie. And you know what's crazy? People like Rand Paul could get in trouble with social media groups. Because why? Because fact checkers are going to go ahead and side with Dr. Fauci. That's what they're going to do. Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx. All the while, magically, oh, what a coinky-dink. Months later, conceding the point. And you want to know what? Not conceding it to the person that he ragged on and said was putting people in a dangerous position. Not apologizing to him, but even Rand Paul says, you got to apologize to way more than me. You got to apologize to way more. It's true. So I'll give you the Justin Hart. I got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes that we can spare. Okay. So I'll go ahead and hop out of here for 2 minutes. I want you to hear this because I want you to hear this exchange, by the way, is brilliant. This exchange, again, microcosm, macrocosm. This right here shows, he's got all the panels set out that shows the way that the spikes happen, shows where we are, shows different countries, the similarity in all these countries to how this plays out. It follows a predictable path. And Rand Paul is saying, we need to put our kids back in the schools. Can we do it safely? And here you can hear the globalist New World Order goon, Dr. Fauci, lying through his freaking teeth every single day. He lies. He's a liar. He lied when he said, you know, he has to pick his poison. When he told people don't buy masks, and now he's saying for them to buy masks, and you got to say, well, which one is it? He says he was lying about the first. I put money down that he's lying on the second. And I say that because those masks, because then you get into a debate over the efficiency. And I brought this up before. I said, if you want to get into a debate over the efficiency of a mask, go ahead and start wearing a mask like the dude with the snake, right? That had the snake wrapped around. Or a mesh one like Lana Del Rey. People got really mad. But that brings up, you say, man, look at all it's so porous. Look at all the holes. And you go, oh, that's the thing, isn't it, guys? You have to, that opens up a conversation. That broadens it. Maybe Twitter should go ahead and put that on there and say, oh, this broadens the conversation about masks. They won't do it. They won't do it. It's a propaganda thing. But here's the point, is that when you open up that pathway to talk about this conversation, you are now in the world of debating the size, relative size of COVID compared to the pores within the material and fabric that you're using as a mask. Because they treat it like magic, like all masks are the same, except for the ones, you know, that are big holes in it. And you go, yes, but that's a big hole to you. That's a big hole to you. I'll tell you what is a big hole to something else, is to the pores in those masks that you're wearing, or in the fabric that you cut off of a sweater that you've got slapped over your face when you go into the store. The pores in that, relative to corona, they're huge. It's all about size and scale. It's relative to size and scale. They ain't going to be doing it. Here we go.
This all begs the question, when are we going to tell the people the truth? That it's okay to take their kids back to school? Dr. Fauci, every day, virtually every day, we seem to hear from you things we can't do. But when you're asked, can we go back to school? I don't hear much certitude at all. I hear, well, maybe it depends. All of this body of evidence about schools around the world shows there's no surge. All of the evidence shows that it's rare. I mean, we've so politicized this and made it politically correct that the WHO releases that it's rare, and you have a scientist up there honestly giving her opinion. What happens to her? She's blackballed, and her report that she refers to is taken off the website. When you go to that scientist's speech and you try to click on the link, the WHO has now screened it from us because it said something that's not politically correct. That, guess what? It's rare for kids to transmit this.
Yeah, same thing in the, just to interject, I know that it's already a minute. Let a minute go by. I don't want to get flagged for that. Because it can happen, and Fox News can be like, oh, you're using our stuff. So I'm commenting on it, okay? I'm commenting on it. Went a little bit long, but I'm commenting on it. The idea that, that when people come out and they talk about kids in schools and stuff, you could see this happened to me when I was, when we had our baby, when Wolfgang was born. We went to the hospital and people were saying, I was upset because you could only have 2 visitors at a time. You could only have three people all together. That included the mom. So it was the mom, me, and one other visitor for the whole stay. And you couldn't be a kid. You couldn't be anybody who was a minor. I think it was under 16 years old. And they were like, well, because kids, we don't know about them and all, blah, 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 whatever. The thing is, I asked about it. And someone said, well, kids are these vectors, right? They're these super spreaders going around and all this, and gave a link. So I go to the link. And what does the link talk about? And this is the same person, same kind of person who says they shouldn't be in school. We need to stop the schools. Out there with all the educators standing there talking about how death is going to come all over the place of the schools. And that link, that article showed that kids, while having a higher viral load, were not showing symptoms. Hardly at all. Some symptoms, but comparatively to adults, not very much. And why? The reason why, their answer was what we've intuitively known all along. It's in fact an ancient wisdom. And it is that they are in a social environment around a bunch of kids with different immunity bubbles. And now they're thrown in, so they're getting a little bit of everything all the time. And it helps to build their resistance to the effects of the virus. And I said, okay, kids go back to school. Kids go back to school. But the answer was no, teachers know best. Obviously not. Obviously not.
But I hear nothing of that coming from you. All I hear, Dr. Fauci, is we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't play baseball. Well, even that's not based on the science. I mean, flu season peaks in February. We don't know that COVID's going to be like the flu season. It might, but we don't know that. But we wouldn't ban school in October.
Oh, yeah, and come to find out, it is like that. In fact, it's so much like that it would appear based on the numbers that COVID is, in fact, the flu. It would appear by the numbers. You'd say, wow, it's kind of weird. Look at the way that it spikes. And then look at the way that the flu spikes during the exact same months. Wow, kind of weird.
You might close some schools when they get the flu. We need to not be so presumptuous that we know everything. But my question to you is, can't you give us a little bit more on schools that we can get back to school, that there's a great deal of evidence, and it's actually good evidence that kids aren't transmitting this. It's rare, and that kids are staying.
Well, Dr. Fauci didn't like that. Dr. Fauci didn't like that. And he got super mad. Says he lied about the risk of coronavirus to kids in order to keep schools closed. This is Cernovich. And if you're not following him, you got to. You got to, man. I'd love to meet that guy. Love to have a cigar with him. Traumatized millions of kids. But these people wouldn't stuff ballots. Get real. Get real.
Look at the data. The spread among children and from children is not really very big at all.
Look at the data. The data says everything that Rand Paul said. That's just the truth that has come out recently. Liar, dude! You're a lying scumbag. You're a lying scumbag. You should be put on trial for what you've done. He should be put on trial. Look at the havoc. Look at the chaos and the mayhem. Look at the fact. Look, schools are like, well, because of COVID, we're not going to do our regular standardized test to see where we kind of rank with everybody. You know why that is. Yes, it is because of COVID. Because your schools have failed. They've been failing for a long time. It's already a grotesque embarrassment. There's a reason why there's a mass exodus out. The people say, look, we got to get our kids out of here. These are dum-dum factories. El Stupido is apparently all over every page. Get them out of there. If your kids are in there, pray to God every day that God will give you the means to make that sacrifice. And maybe you have to make the sacrifice even before you have the means. And you have to put yourself out there even more to say you are not going to allow your kids to go through that factory. You're not going to do it. Evelina says in the comments, please include in your daily prayers my husband. A lot of health issues and attitude things. Things that he's going on, especially now in the day and age of COVID, in the day and age of everything going on. And it's going to have a problem with your health and especially with your attitude, because if we're always inside all the time, it has a dramatic impact. Has a dramatic impact. We'll talk about the credit score thing. Talk about that. Let's see. I'll talk about it right now. We'll just do it right now. We're going to talk about it. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to go ahead real quick because we are now into the third hour of the show. And so I want to go ahead and play this promo here. We're going to do a couple of them, so I'm going to step out for a second. Give my voice a break. All right, I thought I did good. I thought I wasn't, that I didn't wreck my voice at the rally. I did a little bit. Just a little bit. I think it's a combination, man, of the weather and speaking powerfully into a microphone, getting riled up, cheering and chanting, everything else, getting super excited. And if you didn't see that video, see, you hear that crack? If you didn't see that video, I need more water. I need lots of water, man. And something hot. Oh, man. If you did not see the video of my speech at the Stop the Steal Patriot Hub rally in Lansing on Saturday, this past Saturday, it's available toward the beginning of the show. And so once the show's over, go back and I'll post it at paleocratdiaries.com. In fact, I'll go up and I'll just pull that up right now. And that way you can see. That way you can see it. Let's see. That way you can see it. So, okay, paleocratdiaries.com. You'll be able to see it in all posts. Okay, so at the homepage, you've got a bunch of these things, including our Help Wanted, a call for volunteers and contributors. If you love the show, and if you'd like to be part of the program, either with video or memes or articles or your own personal vlogs, no matter what it is, social media, operating social media for us, we have Hootsuite, so it makes it a little bit easier. Whatever you'd like to do, whatever you're good at, your gifts and your talents, we want to honor that and your time. Okay, there's no high demands here, right? It's a one-man mariachi band over here right now, but the thing is, we'd love to have you. That's there, but you'll be able to find at paleocratdiaries.com. I'll go ahead and I'll upload that video of the speech so that you can see it and share it with your friends. And I'll include in that same blog, I will include what you see right here. It says must see Jeremiah's speech at the Stop the Steal rally. That right there is from the first speech that I did. And you can go ahead and see that over at paleocratdiaries.com. So, all right. So we are going to go ahead right now. going to go ahead and do a quick break, give my voice a break for a second, and we'll be right back in just about a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Love this video? What a coincidence! I do too! Now head on over to PaleocratDiaries.com for more videos, blogs, book and movie reviews, even Team Tiny Dancer stuff. And don't forget to check out our new members and services pages. It's how I pay for my kids to attend Catholic school. Until next time, Memento Mori.
Just so people know, if I go to your website, paleocratdiaries.com.
Yeah, man.
So here's the site. And so if I scroll down here, it has all posts. If I just want to subscribe to your next video, where do I go here?
Let's see here. It might be at the bottom. I've never subscribed to my own site. I've never gone through this. I should. This is fancy. You're all fancy pants on me right now.
Well,
See,
this has got your stuff from. If I just go to all posts.
Go to the spooktacular one. Go back up. That's funny right there, man. There's a expose the COVID thing. It's a hilarious political satire. Because it's funny, you got to click on the actual article itself. Or else you're just going to watch the video right there.
Would you recommend people subscribing to you on YouTube?
No, yes and no. I would say do it right here. If you go on, click on tonight, right there. Tonight, our Halloween special.
Yeah.
Yep, click on that. And then down at the bottom. Yep, scroll down to the bottom of that. Yeah, that's my spooktacular. Yep.
Okay.
Well, no, scroll down. Keep scrolling. Right there.
Subscribe right here. Here we
Subscribe.
go.
If you subscribe, and look at the colors, man. It's playful and fun. It's playful. And so the thing is, we have a really good time. And if you subscribe, we don't spam people. We don't send a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? In fact, the only updates you'll get are if I update the site at all with the video from the day. And what I do is I try to make it so that we have timestamps and topics. So we have a table of content. If it's a really cool article or a series of them, I will hyperlink those to the topic. And the timestamp, you can just click on that bad boy and it will take you directly to that topic. So you don't have to fumble around for 2 hours. I mean, that's, I'm cranking out 12 and a half hours a week of original content, not including exclusive videos that are unlisted, that the only way to watch those, like the spooktacular one that was really, all it is funny. It's only funny stories. That's it. And I think I wore a sombrero. It was a lot of fun. You can watch that, but you have to watch it at the.com. So if you subscribe, you'll get those, but we're not going to send anything else. We don't share any of your stuff.
Yeah, if you just go to paleocratdiaries.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can subscribe to our newsletter. Put your email in, get all your posts.
And there we go. As simple as that, guys. As simple as that. So make sure, if you have not done that yet, make sure to go do it right now at paleocratdiaries.com. All right, moving on. We're in the final hour, guys. If you haven't liked it, if you have not liked the video, make sure to click the like button and make sure to share it, okay? In fact, it's really important this week. There's a couple channels that it's not airing over right now that it normally would, that would be really significant for the view count and the shares and everything else. So make sure that you're sharing it with your network. If you love the show, if you're tuned in, make sure you share it, okay? We'd really, really appreciate that. All right, real quickly, in the comments, we're going to get to this story here. In the comments, says, let's see. Okay, yeah, Ailey corrected me and said they had to be 18 years or older, the kids, inside of the maternity ward. So our kids couldn't be there at all, right? Because of COVID. Because of COVID, and they didn't want to, and we've had situations too. In fact, we had a situation with the Children's Hospital, and we love the Children's Hospital. We were there. It plays a very meaningful role in our life. We're super glad that we have it. It's one of the greatest in the country, in fact, Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. It's an amazing place. But, even they are dealing with some of this, and they don't want to have a bunch of people. They don't want, waiting rooms filled with people. And one instance, my wife had our son that was going in to get a test done. She had our 2-year-old Lucian, and at the time, 2-week-old son, Wolfgang, okay, and brought them in. And they said that she had too many people. There were too many guests. And so she ended up going home. It was pretty bad. Zach in the comments says they need those cheap masks so Antifa and BLM could riot because the N95 rated masks that actually protect you are too expensive. And look, I think there's a point to this. I think that when you're plotting a color revolution, which we've already established to be the case. We've shown too many markers of this to say that one after another have been hit. Just over and over, kind of like election fraud, when the BBC wrote an article about election fraud pertaining to Africa, but they give certain markers and they say, if you have an election and you end up having these things happen, right? And it gives a wide range of them, is, 8 to 10 different things. If you see that, each one is a staple. Each one of those is an indicator that there's some shenanigans going on. And lo and behold, guess what? All of them, every single one. Well, ain't that a thing? If you were in another country analyzing our election, what would you say? If you use that as your standard, you would say there was election fraud. If you are not, however, and you're part of that color revolution, and you're helping to advance the narrative of said election fraud, like fake news, then you're going to say that there's no evidence, and you're going to completely ignore and cover your eyes. You say, I no see nothing. I no see evidence. And that's what's going on. And so, part of the revolution is that you're causing chaos and mayhem on the streets. And that everybody, a law-abiding person, is afraid to go in the streets. Not only because they want to obey the law, and they want to, they're people who, generally speaking, are obedient to authority because that's a moral foundation that they have. But also because they've been, the whole Clockwork Orange crap in the eyes for months and months and months, being told that the monster's outside. Conveniently only when it is right-wing people going outside. When right-wing people go outside, it's called racism. When right-wing people and when white people, it doesn't matter. You have a bunch of white people going outside in a large number, all of a sudden, it's a super spreader moment. All of a sudden, it is a super spread. Thank you so much, baby. Okay, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Ailey brought down some water. She said she's bringing down more coffee, too. She takes care of me. I have the best secretary in the world. I love her like crazy, man. She's hot. She's a hot woman. I had the hots for her, man. I'm not going to lie. But you sit there and you say, okay, so large number of right-wing people, large number of people who want to defend their businesses, large number of people who may happen to be white. And all of a sudden now it's a danger. All of a sudden now you're murderous. All of a sudden now it's going to have to require more lockdowns, all because of you. And then what do? They sit there and they say that, and they don't like to cover the fact that that stuff didn't happen. Those spikes didn't happen. And then they focus instead, the fake news media instead, and the fake fact checkers, the people who are not, in fact, peddling truth, those individuals will go, or at least partial truths. I'm willing to believe it. I'm willing to believe it that you have these massive rallies that are done for Black Lives Matter, or massive protests that are Antifa and everything else. And you go, okay, well, or Joe Biden, when people were celebrating Joe Biden's phony victory. And they were like, yeah, man, it's really great. We did a good job. We stole the election. When those people went out and did that, somehow magically, those are not super spreader events. Somehow magically, those are not racist events. It's all magic. It's all magic, dude. These people are magicians, man. And yes, Margaret says, pray for election trial, Trump victory. I agree with you. I agree with you. Let's see here. Maybe we'll talk about that one tomorrow. Let's see. All right. DC's corrupted legislative process and why the Dem and Republican Uniparty dismisses your opinion of it. All right, this is reposted by request. All right. Do I have it highlighted? No, I do not. We'll just show a couple things. Most people think when they vote for a federal politician, a House or a Senate representative, they're voting for a person who will go to Washington, D.C. and write or enact legislation. This is the old-fashioned schoolhouse rock perspective based on decades past. There's not a single person in Congress writing legislation or laws. In modern politics, not a single member of the House of Representatives or senator writes a law or puts a pen to paper to write out a legislative construct. This simply does not happen. Over the past several decades, a system of constructing legislation has taken over Washington, D.C. that more resembles a business operation than a legislative body. If you understand this dynamic and you understand how politicians become multimillionaires on much lesser salaries and why we, the people, are insignificant and annoying gnats to their business model, here's how it works right now. You can look. Lobbying Congress, 1986, $61 million spent. Average was $113,700 per lawmaker. In 2016, $3.1 billion spent. Average $5.8 million per lawmaker. Think about that. I've seen it firsthand. I was the chief aide to a lobbyist in New Jersey. So I worked not only for our group, but I worked alongside and collaborated with many other lobby groups. And I've seen ones that were good. I've seen ones that were bad. But through it all, I saw a lot of money. Lots and lots of loot, man. The way that they view power, the way that they view law, and the way that they view themselves. If most people knew and saw it, freak them out. It'd freak them out. Now, some people might say, well, that's just, your special interests, like what it says here. Outside groups, often called special interest groups, are entities that represent their interest in legislative constructs. Oftentimes foreign governments, Wall Street multinational corporations, banks, financial groups, businesses, smaller groups of people with similar connection who come together to form a larger group under an umbrella of interest specific to their affiliation. And that in and of itself, I defend, by the way. I defend that. Those are fine. You have a certain interest. There's a big difference in the way that politics works if you show up. And this is actually part and parcel, I think, to republics. That if you're part of a group and you show up and you're representing them and you put together something that's neatly constructed, something that makes sense, and let's just assume that it's true. Let's assume that it's true. And let's assume that it's just and that it's fair. And you do that and you've got backing behind you and you've got money behind you and you have reach behind you. So you have a massive network of people and you present something and then you have an individual, a single person who shows up by himself, maybe the exact same cause, maybe the exact same issue, the exact same construct, right? So they're trying to advance the exact same thing with the same level of truth and justice and fairness and all the like. It's the exact same thing, but they're by themselves. They're all alone. You're playing fantasy land if you think that those two things are going to have the same force. Or if it even warrants the same amount of time. Because that larger group is made up of a lot of individuals. So even if you say, well, I need to give attention to this one person over here. Well, look, you've got, let's say, 1 million persons over there. Each one, if it's even Stevens, if it's one man, one vote, if that's the way it goes. So I don't entirely come against the idea of groups. In fact, I encourage groupish behavior. I don't like this I'm on a libertarian island by myself making change. You're probably not. Even the people that those individuals often cite. They'll look at people and say, Martin Luther King Jr. I have a lot of people that cite that. And you say, you don't know anything about what went into that, or even how was he discovered, by the way? Who discovered him? Do you guys know? Do you know? It's talked about in the book. What's the name of the book, man? Thought Police? What's that lady's name, man? It's a lady. I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But anyway, she wrote this book, and she's often on Fox News and stuff like that. I don't really watch too often, so I don't get to see her too often on there. But she wrote a book about it and talked about the background behind that, or the background, behind different people throughout history that made stands often by themselves. Okay? And so, it's one of those things that people like to romanticize because they like to think that their individual value to the system is big. But the truth is it's not. And it's easy for them. It's easy for them. Like, take Rosa Parks. That's the other one. I'll say Rosa Parks. And that's connected, by the way, with the MLK story I was asking about. That's kind of a little bit of your answer. But there was a lot more behind the scenes going on than some lady deciding one day, I'm sick and tired of being told to sit in the back of a bus. In fact, they'd already tried weather balloons, quote unquote, where they'd made a decision behind closed doors in groups of people with like-minded ideas and a network within society to try to spread that message, to say we're going to take this person and we're gonna who's gonna volunteer to be one of the people to refuse to go to the back of the bus. And I think there were 2 young people. They were women. And they were younger, but it didn't fly the same because people were able to chalk it up that they were just young and rabble-rousers and stuff, and it was easy to marginalize them. So they learned from that. The group did. But the way that it's portrayed, you know, what is it like? Is it Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? What's the name of the movie? You know, it's like this idea, you're just a random Joe, and you're just going to show up, and next thing you know, you're changing everything. Totally phony baloney, man. It's totally phony baloney. But this world inevitably makes it so that oftentimes you're speaking through delegation. So you go up and you contact, and you should contact all of your leaders and stuff. But a lot of times you're speaking through the force of delegation. That's good in one way, but it's not a free lunch. There's a price tag. And that price tag is something that says when that happens, they begin to only care about the representative of the group that you've affiliated with. Not just that that person is representing tons of people, but tons of tools. And oftentimes, to be quite honest, the head of the lobby group feels the same way. And in the end of the day, almost all legislation created is not high profile. These are obscure changes to current laws. Changes to regulations or policies that no one's even paying attention to. The passage of the general bills within legislation is not covered in media. 99% of legislative activity happens without anyone outside the system even paying any attention to it. This article is great. If you want to know more about the bill, because you know you got that a bill on Capitol Hill. What's that cartoon, man, from the 70s? Got a bill on Capitol Hill. You know, that it's a bill walking around talking about how it's done, and it's like, yeah, that's how it's done on paper, but not in real life. Not in real life. It's changed a great deal. A great deal. And in fact, that's why we now have corporations and special interest groups writing the legislation. Lobbyists take that law and go find politicians to support it. Politicians get support from their peers using tenure and status, etc. Eventually, if things go according to the norm, the legislation gets a vote. Why am I saying this to you? Because that's what we're up against. And because we have to say, if we're going to be clever, and we're going to try to make it so that we're making a difference, even though we're wildly outnumbered, even though we may not have the money, we're late to the game, in fact, on organization, because most of us are the Johnny Q's and Sally Sue's of flyover country. We are the undereducated. There are a lot of that in the United States. And a lot of that, they're just traditional people working every day, getting that elbow grease going, trying to do the best they can because they love their God, their family, and their country. And so they're kind of late to the game, but they're realizing now, not only are they sick and tired of being beautiful losers, but they're sick and tired of the elites, and they see where it's all going, and they're sick and tired of their lies, and they ain't going to have it anymore. They say, we're done, dude. We are done with this. We have to come together. A great group doing that in Michigan, Patriot Hub. Patriot Hub, they're doing it. Here's another one. And this, I'll let you just listen to it. I don't think Nick Fuentes is going to come after me on this. I hope he doesn't. I hope you don't, Nick, because, you know, I like your stuff, man. I like most of it. I like most of it. I mean, we might have a few disagreements, maybe. But you're good, buddy. You're good. And you're out there doing the work, man. You're out there doing the work, and you make some amazing points here. And so, you know, you're definitely on somebody I'd love to connect with, man. Because I believe in what you're saying here. I believe in what you're saying, and so I wanted people to hear this, and I hope that that's okay. So I'm just going to play the whole thing. It's 2 minutes. Here we go.
Been turning out to these state capitals. I turned out to Lansing, Michigan. Tell you something. I've been turning out to these state capitals. I turned out to Lansing, Michigan. And I turned out to Washington, D.C. and Atlanta, Georgia. And now we're in Phoenix for the next 3 days. And I see a lot of you. I see a lot of America first. But do you want to know who I don't see? I don't see anybody from the Republican establishment. Where are they? I'll tell you, I don't see Nikki Haley. I don't see Dan Crenshaw. I don't see Ronna McDaniel anywhere. I don't see Madison Cawthorn. I don't see Ben Sass. And I don't see Charlie Kirk. Where are they? And Charlie Kirk is perhaps the worst offender. This guy has made millions of dollars selling access to President Trump and his family. President Trump has given Charlie Kirk everything he has. And where is Charlie Kirk when the president needs him? Nowhere to be found. He is nowhere to be found, and it is absolutely a disgrace. But this is just a reminder. This is just a reminder about who our real friends and who our real enemies are. Never forget that it was Donald Trump in 2016 who defeated 16 of the top Republicans in the country to become the nominee. And they didn't make it easy for him. They cheated, and they lied, and they slandered, just like the Democrats. And even when it came time for the general election, it was Paul Ryan that got on a conference call after a certain tape leaked in October and said the Republicans should abandon President Trump at the top of the ticket. The Republican establishment has been our enemy from the beginning.
And that's what we're up against, guys. That's what we're up against. We can see it with Fox News. We can see it with Fox News. In fact, I've told you guys, turn them off, man. You don't even need to listen to Tucker. Tucker's good. He's good on 95% of the stuff that he talks about. He's good. But the truth is, and he's got a huge, massive platform. Biggest news show maybe in the history of the world. Super popular, man. All over the place, reaching tons of people. He's a megaphone for this stuff. But the truth is, if you're tuning into this show, Money Down is, look, I challenge you on this. Go and see when he talks about a topic that you like, and then go back and see when we talk about it. And when other independent shows talk about it. We're on the front lines of this. He's part of a bureaucracy that they have gatekeepers, that stuff bubbles its way up and eventually gets out there. We're talking 4 days, 5 days difference. So I got to the point where I'm like, I don't personally need it because I am on the sources that he is relying on. And I get to those sources and we talk about it. And I'm in the morning anyway, so he's at night. So even if he ends up talking about the same topic, a lot of times he talks about it at night. And the interviews, okay, I got it. But most of those interviews, they might be talking about, let's say, the color revolution, and you got 2 minutes to talk about it. Because it's commercially formatted. Now, some people are like, man, you have a 3-hour-long show. That's a lot of talking. I'm like, yes, it is. Because we don't limit people to a commercial format that says, well, yeah, this is a really important topic, but, we're on the clock. You've got 60 seconds to explain the color revolution that we're experiencing. That's insane, by the way. It's insanity. And then to go from there, and Fox has their, different sponsors, so it might come on and you have a Viagra commercial next. You have a toothpaste commercial and you're like, oh, okay, Polly Pocket or something. You're like, dude, what the heck, dude? I'm listening to something really great. I wish you had more time. Oh, it's a real big bummer. We actually are really running out of time right now. Sorry to cut you off. We'll be right back after news from the sponsor, Polly Pocket. It's insane, man. It's insane. Speaking of the election, by the way, right here, Barbara said, I heard 60 Minutes report story last night. State the recount proves no fraud in votes. These recounts are recounting the bad ballots, and that's why they can't find problems. It's not about recount. It's all about Sidney Powell proving the voting machines were root cause of fraud. Yes. And that's why, by the way, that's why. Did they follow through with it? I didn't check yet. Did they follow through? Georgia. A judge said you got to put a freeze on these voting machines because they have to be inspected. They're allowed to be inspected. And then all of a sudden, a couple hours later, after everyone was psyched, wow, we're going to be able to go in, all of a sudden they're like, no, we need to let the group come in and reset the machines. It's blatant, guys. It's blatant. And it's about the voting machines. And you're going to find, I mean, you know, there's going to be ballots in different places that are just phony baloney. Just phony baloney. And there's a good question, actually. I'll show that one second. We got about 25 minutes here. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Let's hope this makes it to the Trump campaign on October 30th, 2020, or 2016. The 2016 Green Party candidate, Jill Stein, finally won her groundbreaking case that gave her campaign the right to examine voting machine source code in Wisconsin. It took years. But here's the thing about it. The Trump campaign should take notice. Confiscating the voting machines in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada may in fact be crucial to exposing the fraud in this year's election. Yes. Yes. Because it's a big win for integrity. The Stein 2016 recount campaign has won the court fight in Wisconsin, overcoming the final obstacle to a groundbreaking examination of voting machine source code by defeating voting machine vendors' attempts to gag us from telling the public what we find. Now, isn't that a thing too? Isn't that a thing that you're like, oh wow, so okay, you're being gagged and you're not allowed to tell the public what you find. Who's doing it? Oh, the vendors themselves? Wow, ain't that a thing? Ain't that a thing, man? It's unbelievable. Yeah, what's the guy's name here? Hold on. There's a dude who Alex Haldeman. Okay, so that is the expert that they're gonna have come in to finally inspect the code that runs many voting machines used in Wisconsin and across the U.S. and disclose conclusions about the software's reliability and accuracy to the public. Isn't it going to be a sad thing if, and this is the prediction, it's going to be a lot like what we see with Fauci and company, that months after his reprimand, quote unquote, of Rand Paul goes viral and everyone's jumping on board saying, oh, Rand Paul doesn't know what he's talking about schools and COVID. Listen to Fauci as he foments at the mouth. Only then later to have this happen. Be like, oh, okay. Months later, you end up finding out that Fauci was totally wrong. Same thing with this. What's amazing right here, it says Stein is currently involved in discussions to plan the examination with the expert designated to conduct it, Dr. J. Alex Haldeman, professor of computer science and engineering at the University of Michigan and a leading expert in cybersecurity and election technology. Quote, this is a unique opportunity for independent scrutiny, said Haldeman. The examination will give the public and officials a more complete picture of election security risks and ultimately help to make voting more secure. We need it because we're in a world, for example, where Floyd County, Georgia, a man reported to be the Dominion rep scanning ballots and where over 3,000 votes, the majority for Trump, went initially uncounted, appears to have worked with Kamala Harris as a photographer during her presidential campaign. So there he goes. Look at this. You're like, oh, wow, that's kind of neat. So who's the person inside there? Oh, an activist. Oh, someone who's working with the campaign. Oh, of the person who benefited from the votes not being tallied for Donald Trump. Oh, coinky-dink. Look at those coinky-dink smiles. Look at it, guys. Oh, it's a coinky-dink. Oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter. This is one of the two men scanning in ballots in Floyd County. He worked for Kamala Harris. According to Rome City Commissioner, Democrat Wendy Davis, and Floyd County GOP Chair Luke Martin, no observers were present for some of the scanning. Over 3,000 uncounted votes were later found. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? What a coincidence. And here's the thing. What these people don't realize is we see this stuff. We see the grotesque hypocrisy. Doesn't matter if it's COVID. Doesn't matter if it's the censorship on social media. Doesn't matter if it has to do with the vote counts. Doesn't matter if it's the fake news. We see it all. We've seen it for so long, and we've just had it. We are done. We are done with this. We're like the snake, man. We're like the rattlesnake. Don't tread on me. The Gadsden flag. We're sitting there saying, don't tread on us. Don't do this. You leave us alone, we ain't gonna bite. You come and you tread on us, and you want to know something? We've been tread on over and over and over and over again for our entire lives. Mocked and marginalized. Misrepresented. And we've had it. We have had it. These people don't know what's coming. They don't know what's coming. Here we go.
You're going to see things happening over the next week or two that are going to be shocking to people.
We're going to see it. They're not going to know what's hit them. Release the Kraken! Release the Kraken! We're done with it. We've had it. We are standing up finally. Finally, for what makes America great, because it's not just Donald Trump, it's us. We found strength now. We found strength. We've decided that we are not going to tolerate it anymore. We've decided that we are going to organize, and it doesn't matter what they do at us and how they come at us. We are resilient, and we are resolved deeply. We're an unquenchable fire at this point. You cannot stop us. We are unafraid of the Nephilim. We're unafraid of the giants. You can look around and see. You can look around and say, man, it's intimidating, isn't it? It's been intimidating forever, and we see the program. We've seen the writing on the walls for a very long time. We were hoping that we could slow it down. We were hoping that we could turn the tide. But the truth is, with every advance of the left, the authoritarian left, with every single advance, we were marginalized more and more and more. We were misrepresented more and more and more. To the point now where people are, without any blushing at all, talking about re-education camps. Think about it. Think about it. They're coming for us. They're coming for me. They're coming for you. They're coming for your kids. What are you going to do? I can tell you, as for me in my house, we ain't sitting around. We're not playing tiddlywinks anymore. It's on like Donkey Kong, son. It's on like Donkey Kong. We're sick and tired of it, man. We're sick and tired of it. And you know what? Here's one that we're sick and tired of. Michigan GOP-led legislature does not schedule hearings with Trump attorneys like Arizona and Pennsylvania. We're coming for you guys, by the way. We're coming for you guys. Look, I promised a while ago. I promised. We'll take you at the ballot box. We're going to fight tooth and nail, man. You don't even know the kind of insurgency that has arisen. You don't even know the kind of people that stand with us. You have no idea. You have no idea what we will do. The kind of day in and day out barrage that you're going to get from us. And you can't sit there, you know what's not going to work anymore? Saying, but I'm a Republican. Doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work anymore because apparently there are enemies and traitors within our midst. Enemies and traitors, man. I know that it's customary to say, well, we made it through the primary. We made it through. And we all gave our best, and now it's time that we come together and we all just work together. And my answer to that is no, because those people, when it matters most, tell us to take a knee for Joe Biden. Those people, when it matters most, are refusing to rise up and to do what is their legislative duty to perform. Not just an option, but given the circumstance, it is your responsibility. Won't do it. Won't do it. And you know what's amazing? These are some of the most ungrateful pricks that the world has ever seen. You look at it and say, do you think for a second that people were flooding to the ballots because they like your neocon globalist uniparty brand, that milquetoast crap? Do you think that's the case? Man, you're pretty special in your own eyes, aren't you? You're wrong. And no more talk of, well, if you don't get me in, the judges. You want to know what we didn't get? Judges. It wasn't until a man stood in the gap. That man's Donald Trump. He was a bulldozer. Maybe that's what you didn't like about him. He was mixing it up. You like the swamp. You and your butt chums. And all those lobbyists and corporate goons. You guys like to bathe and sunbathe and rub oil on each other right next to the swamp. Sickos, man. But we got your number. We got your number, and here's the thing, man. We're already organizing. Where are your rallies? Where are your rallies? Where are these websites, man? I can tell you right now, even your TV channel is completely getting drained. Look at the numbers, man. Look at the numbers for Fox. Now, look, I have to warn everybody. These people, they're chameleons. They like riding that institutional wave of civilizational change. They like riding it like Silver Surfer. So they'll try to go and take over small grassroots groups. They'll do it with multiple different tactics. Some of them shame. Some of them just purely power. Some of them having to do with large sums of money and perks. It's tantalizing. We need to be on guard against this. Because at this point, we must know, not just recognize, but deeply know our enemies. And we must realize that we are not playing footsie. There's no tiddlywink here. There's no pickup sticks, buddy. There's no pickup sticks with you guys. Lee Chatfield and Shirky. Easy names to remember. Easy names to remember. We've not been yet made aware of any information that would change the outcome of the election in Michigan. Really? You guys must read sites that really suck. You guys are listening to bullcrap. What are you listening to? And by the way, I don't put a lot of stock into your ability to investigate anything. Because we actually understand how this all works. This stuff's fed to you, man. I'm more interested in who's working with you, by the way. Making sure that we plant people. Making sure. Pulling some Project Veritas junk. You better watch it. You better watch it. I'm not playing friendly anymore. If these people think that I'm that I'm one of these guys that's just like, well, you know, we're on the same team. We're going to be, you know, the bedfellow thing. No. Maybe you've got me all wrong. You've got me and my peeps, the wolf pack. You got us all wrong. Because we're not tolerating this anymore. We've seen what happens when this goes on. We don't even believe the system anymore. We don't believe the Congress anymore. We don't believe the media anymore. Look at the numbers. We don't even believe so many people. By the way, just so you know, the first thing I said, and I'm a delegate, first thing I said when I decided that I was going to go into the GOP, I told them right to their face. And they're nice guys, right? The people at Kent County, nice guys. But I told them right out of the gate, I said, I'm not really much of a Republican. I'm a Trump guy. I like your boss. I voted for him. And I hope that he completely revolutionizes the system, because the system has gone haywire. It's gone not just haywire, but it's gone to hell on a slippery slide. And I don't want to take it anymore. I'm here because of that. I'm here because of Trumpism. I'm here because of Christ the King. I'm not here because, Charlie Kirk. I'm not here because of John McCain, Jeb Bush, George W. I ain't here because of that crap. And I ain't playing around. We know the art of warfare. We know the art of political warfare, meme warfare, info wars. We understand how this works. Studied it for a long time. Basically a master of it, by the way. Basically a master of it. And now, the target is you. You're put on watch, man. You're put on watch, buddy. You're put on watch because we got guns akimbo with information, narratives, networks, and connections. And I saw, by the way, people say, yeah, but what about the money, Jeremiah? What about the money? Number one, it's amazing. You pass around a hat at a rally and you find out how much. You say, well, we're down a little bit with this rally. Just the mere giving, and during a time of great hardship, to see the amount that pours out. God's blessing us, by the way. God's blessing us like the breaking of fishes and loaves. And we're watching as things are multiplying. It's miraculous, in fact. It ought to make you worried. And the thing is, too, I spent time working with John Tomeke of New Jersey League of American Families. When I was the chief aide to him, he was listed and recognized as one of the most influential and powerful lobbyists in the state of New Jersey. In fact, in the top 10. In the top 25 most powerful people in the state of New Jersey at the time. Not a penny in his pocket. Not a penny in his pocket. Cheap car. Cheap clothes. But he understood the game. He knew how it was played. When you want to stay true to principle. To not be a raging hypocrite. These are lessons that we've learned. By the way, in the comments I'm told, Ross says Freedom Circle in Dorr and Wayland, that's outside Grand Rapids, is also a great platform to connect with. Thank you very much, by the way. Is it Ross or is that Angela? I said Ross before, man. It turned out being Angela. Yeah, but I appreciate that. Yes, Freedom Circle. So if you're in that area, connect with the people from Freedom Circle. Mrs. Hahn says, Jeremiah, we have an action alert. Action alert. We need everyone in the freaking state to show up in Lansing at 9 a.m. tomorrow. This may be our last stand. Legislators are meeting at 10 and trying to stop an evidentiary hearing. That's what I'm talking about. The Senate's going to meet at 1:30. No joke. This is the most critical moment we've ever faced in our state. We must all be there. Save our republic. Save our republic. Maybe I can connect with, after the show, I'll maybe connect with you guys and we can see it if we can broadcast it in all different places. And that way we can get it out there. So it's not just on a couple Facebook pages, but maybe, let's say, on many platforms all over the place. We'll see what we can do. Okay. Oh, she said, sorry, the Senate is at 10 a.m. House is at 1:30. Either which way, people need to be in Lansing, Michigan. They need to be there. Maya says, please, Patriots, be at the Michigan State Capitol at 9. Make signs that say our legislatures are bearing false witness. Little old me, just saying. Little old me, okay, I like that. Little old me, I like that. Little old me, just saying. Commented, like your passion. It's a rigged system. Giuliani says, go back to Reagan, nope, JFK was pushed into the W column. Cheating happened pre-CW. Trump is the first one who's ever been for the people. And by the way, it's totally true. Because if you sit there and you say, even Reagan at the time was really insistent. He had a kind of a libertarian streak on this. And he wanted nothing to do with Council on Foreign Relations, right? Trilateral Commission, all that stuff. He didn't want it. But then lo and behold, in they usher Mr. CIA, Mr. Deep State guy himself, George H.W. And the rest is history. The rest is history. So here's the thing. We got to ask ourselves, too. Well, I guess, yeah, we'll just go ahead and just put this out there. And then we're going to finish up with a thing about family, because I want to end on family. Because it's not just about politics, guys. The Democrats recommend pre-printed ballots and provisional envelopes for up to 40% of registered voters to be on hand so they could steal the election for Joe Biden. It's a good question. It's a good question. In fact, the question is, how were they able to do this physically? Where did they find the votes? The Brennan Center for Justice recommended in late September that they should carry an incredible number of ballots on Election Day. To be sufficient, there should be enough emergency and provisional materials to keep voter lines moving for up to 3 hours, while any technical issues can be identified and resolved. In 2020, this will likely require precincts to have enough backup materials for 40% of all Election Day voters. By late October, they were recommending more of the exact same thing in states like Georgia. We know where they found the ballots, sitting around that they could use to manufacture that these votes were in fact for Biden. Democrats ensured that they would be there before the election. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We're going to end talking about family. So I'll probably go about 5 minutes over. Really grateful for all of you. But I want to talk about this because, you know, talking about resolving this on a political level or on the level of facts, on the level of media and what narratives that we not only receive, but that we advance and how we fit into that scheme, taking a place of prayer to center ourselves in that way, right? Centering God in that moment and saying, God, where do I fit? What do I do? What are the gifts and talents that you've given me? And how can I use them best to advance your kingdom? Causes of truth and justice in the American way. How do I do it? And in the end, it ultimately begins in your home. It begins in your heart. And your heart, your home is where your heart is. So you've got to have it in your heart. You've got to do the right thing. But I really like this clip. It's kind of an older clip, but I really liked it. And I don't know if I've hardly ever showed anything with old Alex Jones. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. Here we go.
Fake it all is the football, the basketball. Look, when you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball, the Lady Gaga, the Justin Bieber, who gives you these carbon tax messages. They tell your kids they got to love Justin Bieber, and then Bieber says, hand in your guns, pass the Cybersecurity Act, and the police state's good, and then your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal, and when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200 and something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer, an explorer, going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shut your mind talking about Justin Bieber. It's pure evil. They're taking your intellect, your soul, and giving you Michael Jordan and Bieber. Unlock your human potential. Defeat the globalists who want to shatter your mind, your doorways to perception. I want to see you truly live. I want to see you truly be who you are.
And it's true. And it's true. Look at what they've done. Ask yourself, what books have you read? Where have you traveled? Where have you been? Who have you met? What have you striven to do? What have you strived throughout your entire life? Have you been striving? Have you been striving? Have you been focused in a way that says, I am here for a brief moment. I opened my eyes and took a breath in a world I did not make. And I have a limited time. It's a limited time only. In fact, I don't know when it will end. But I've been given great responsibilities. Sometimes it might feel like the weight of the world is on your back. But you have to know that you can give that burden to Jesus. That he has all power and all authority right now. And that you are to be a representative, in fact, ambassador of his kingdom. It's what we're to do. Have you looked into the eyes of your husband or wife? Have you looked into the eyes of your children? Have you knelt with them and prayed? And I'm not preaching at you, I'm preaching at me at the same time. What have I done? What am I willing to sacrifice? What must I do every single day? What do I have? Sometimes I feel like the widow's mite. These are filthy rags that I'm presenting. You know, I'm a pauper in this way. I don't have a lot to offer, but I have myself. I have my heart. I have everything that I could possibly give and say, God, do the rest. Make it come alive. You gave this passion to me. You gave these gifts and talents. Make them come alive. And not just for myself. Not to sit there and make myself feel good. I don't need some award. I don't need a cookie. No trophy. Those are passing and fading things. And in the end, when I die, in that grave, my bones will look no different than the bones of millionaires and billionaires, people of power. What am I doing? What are you doing? What are we doing? What are we willing to do? What do we want to do? What's the vision that we have? What's our dreams? What's our vision? And what are we doing right now to make that real? What are we doing right now to make that? So that it's not just something stuck in our brain that we, like the SpongeBob episode where, the mom with the curlers and has the baby and the husband who's kind of grody and not shaven and stuff, looking kind of nasty. And she's like, you're not the only one with unfulfilled dreams. How many people have unfulfilled dreams? And how many people who have unfulfilled dreams because they didn't take the time to center God, to discern their gifts and talents, and to wake up every single day determined to give it everything they've got? How many? Are you one of them? And if you are, I hope with everything I've got that you resolve today that that's an old life that you're leaving behind forever. I hope that you leave it behind, resolving deep within to believe and to fight with all of your might, to give it everything you've got, every moment of every single day, trusting, not in those particular things, not to feel as though, man, this is what does it. It's purely a human thing. It's a human construct with human hands and human power. But to say these are partial tools, these are part of the story. In fact, the smallest things, important, essential, but relative to scale, compared with the power and supercharging power and force of an almighty God, they're nothing. Stay humble. Stay humble and offer them every day like the widow, pounding your chest and saying, I want to give more. Give me more so I can give more. You got to do it. And it starts with you taking a knee for Jesus Christ. In fact, I've said it every show. If you do not know God, and people can criticize me for this. I don't even care. We are in a wicked place right now. It's really bad. And it should be the truth no matter what. It's a great commission that we have to make disciples of nations. If you've never taken a knee for Jesus, if you've never gotten on your knees and cried out to heaven because of your sins and your need of a redeemer, do it. Don't wait. Don't play that game. And if you did at one point, but you fell away from the church, look, I did. for a long time. I fell away. But if you fell away, and you may even feel, I know people that have reached out to me and they said, I feel so lost. I feel so helpless. I feel so hopeless. What's the meaning of this anymore? And they've come to believe, again, to revisit the idea that not only is God there, but that they were wrong to have walked away in the first place, but they've convinced themselves or allowed themselves to be convinced that they've done too much wrong, that they've been too lost, that they've blasphemed too many times. There's an act of reparation. I'll make a video of it. An act of reparation that I pray after church. You know what? Actually, we're going to end on that right now. We're going to end on that right now. Do I have it? Yeah, I have it in my pocket. I was actually not even going to do this. But the truth is, it's central, man. It's central. Because this is where we are. We are really in an all-out war. And like I told a guy, man, I said, I don't want to play the part of the professional Catholic. I mean, I talk about goofy stories. I talk about fun. I talk about music and movies. Talk about the Great Animal Uprising, Family Matters, education. We talk about all this stuff, the news, current events. We have fun. We laugh. We cry. I get riled up, hair on fire, have fun. But at the end of the day, the truth is that God is God. This is his world. We live and move and have our being within the construct created by God, the triune God. And the only way out of this, the way that we got into the mire, it's obvious. The way that we got in was at first kind of a slow descent. We got comfortable. We got fat. We got rich. We got arrogant. We thought we had all the tools to know everything we wanted to know. And we felt that, we could still hold on to some of that nostalgic stuff. Nostalgic Jesus stuff. We could play Mr. Potato Head with it. And we could say, well, I don't like this and I don't like that. I don't like that old time religion. I don't like it. But the truth is, what we didn't realize is that by removing that, it's like Christmas. You take Jesus out of Christmas. You take it out, and it's not going to be long before you're in the world of saying, I think it is kind of a little like, what is it, Festivus? You're going to get to that place. Because what are you doing if it's not centered on the manger and on that child? What is it then? It's something you don't have to do. It's something you don't even have to factor in. And it's something that eventually you're going to begin thinking, maybe this entire thing is a big fat con, a big fat joke, a lullaby for people who are hooked on, the opiates of the masses concept. And then it goes away. So I'm actually going to end on this. And in fact, if my family wants to come down, I know that I've actually lost viewers because I have re-emphasized God. It's okay. In fact, as much as it pains me that I've lost friends, I wouldn't have it any other way. But I want them to come down. I think they're coming down now. I can hear my little guy. I can hear him. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Yeah, in the comments, yes, focus on forming good kids and improving my community. Travel's not necessary, in my opinion. We're going to disagree on that. I think travel's a good thing. I think, in fact, I think that it's a good thing. I think it's wisdom, in fact, that it helps us to have a better understanding of the universe around us. And I think that's good. I think it is not essential per se, but I think it's actually a good thing. And then it says, grow where you're planted. Yes, you need to have action there for a minute, right? And you know what? We're gonna chalk that up. Here we go. It's green again. My son came down. my little son Louis, okay? This is my little guy right here. He came down and he touched a button, and so I apologize for that delay. And I said that we were going to do the act of reparation. And it's true. Here we go. The act of reparation to the most blessed sacrament. And I pray this at the end of Mass. I pray this, and I hope that you find it useful. I'll make a separate video, in fact, that prays it as well. With that most profound respect, which divine faith inspires, O my God and Savior, Jesus Christ, true God and true man, I adore thee. And with my whole heart, I love thee, hidden in the most august sacrament of the altar. In reparation for all the irreverences, profanations, and sacrileges that I, to my shame, may have until now committed, as also for all those that have been committed against thee, or that may ever be committed for the time to come. I offer to thee, therefore, O my God, my humble adoration, not indeed such as thou art worthy of, nor such as I owe thee, but such at least as I am capable of offering. I wish that I could love thee with the most perfect love which rational creatures are capable. In the meantime, I desire to adore thee, now and always, not only for those Catholics who do not adore or love thee, but also to supply the defect, and for the conversion of all heretics, schismatics, libertines, atheists, blasphemers, sorcerers, Mohammedans, Jews, and idolaters. Ah, yes, my Jesus, mayest thou be known, adored, and loved by all, and may thanks be continually given to thee in the most holy and august sacrament. Amen. I want to thank you guys, by the way. Oh, and there's Deja in the comments. It's good to see you, Deja, by the way. It's good to see you. I don't know if you came in right as that we were closing down. And now the internet is super bad. Down to 280. Wow. So I don't know if this even showed, probably glitching like crazy. I apologize for it. So we're going to move on. We're out of here, guys. We are done. Thank you for putting up with that. Thank you for putting up with the glitches. You're just glitches, guys. They're just glitches. I appreciate that you tune in every single weekday from 10 to 1 or so. 1 or so. Every single weekday. Paleocrat Diaries. Make sure to go to paleocratdiaries.com to learn more, including, by the way, how to learn more on being a contributor or a volunteer. We have a whole bunch of options, so you'll be able to do many things. We want to be able to use your gifts and talents and your time in a respectful way, so reach out to us if you'd like to interview or be interviewed. If you'd like for me to come and do speeches or rallies, or you have any other inquiry, make sure to message us at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. Of course, check out Paleo Cheese Podcast, as well as Meaning of Catholic. And if you're in Lansing tomorrow, you got to make sure, in or around, you got to make sure that you go to Lansing 9 o'clock in the morning, because it's big stuff going on. And until next time, remember, never give up. Keep on smiling. And memento mori. I love you, little Louie.